It is the Tuesday edition. The don't worry, this is only for a few minutes edition. Thank God.
No.
That's very offensive.
How? I said no offense.
You
that
said
wipes
thank God. Like, it's the worst thing in the world.
Any offensive thing said after you say no offense is wiped out. That's the rules. I don't make the rules.
The Jason got to talk to Mark Murphy this morning edition. Ooh. What did he have to say? Wilde Tausch, ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, Wisconsin on demand. In the ESPN Madison studio, I'm the producer of the show. My name's Jesse Nelson. Holding it down with Old T from his undisclosed location, the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Jason Wilde in Green Bay. And this morning at Lambeau Field, he is en route back to his undisclosed location, his basement. And we will hear from him coming up momentarily, as well as what he had to say with the Packers president and CEO, Mark Murphy, at some media availability earlier today. So, Tausch, let's build the suspense here a little bit, because I have not yet heard what Jason and the Packers president have talked about today.
So, when Jay texted and said he was going over, it was good. I think Mark Murphy does not seem to care a lot for Jason and does not usually give him much time, judging by what Wilde has told us. So Mark Murphy is not going to say any. If Jason, Rob, or anybody that was over there gets anything out of Mark Murphy today, Mark Murphy hasn't learned a ton. Because what he did on the state tournament, God bless the dude that interviewed him, got a lot out of him and stuck with it and got a ton of good info as far as where this Packers-Rodgers relationship was going. Mark's not going to do that today. So I'll be curious what Jason gets out of it. But I have to commend Mark Murphy on this case because I think not in the case, not of what he did with the WIAA and how that played out. But I think he's handled this situation markedly better than how he handled the Favre. He was new on the job. I think he didn't take over. I still completely disagree with his decision to take everything back under his own wing. I don't think that is the best formula for Green Bay Packers football. I think the Bob Harlan, Ron Wolf way is better. And I hope whomever takes over for Mark, in a year and a half or 2 years, will change that back. I don't know if they will. But I think Mark Murphy, in this case, how he's handled the Aaron Rodgers component to this, he has let Goody kind of take on a lot of the heavy lifting. I would love to find out who and how that contract extension was signed last year, because I don't think Goody ever wanted to do that. I think that's a Mark Murphy handprint with Matt LaFleur. And now I think Mark Murphy's looking and saying, I should have listened to Goody more because of all of the things that could have happened. So when I look at the two situations, which I'm sure Jason broached, I'm sure everybody there trying to compare the 08 transition to what this transition is going to look like, I think the Green Bay Packers, and Mark Murphy is the one constant here. I thought he did a really poor job in the first time around. And if Green Bay gets 2-2s, which is what everybody assumes is going to be the case, and gets Aaron Rodgers off this contract, I think you look at Mark Murphy and say, I think he handled this, outside of spilling the beans, much better than how he handled it in 08.
844-770-3776 is the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. We're going to hear from you throughout the course of the show today, and then once Jason's back, I'll be answering the phone, so we'll be taking care of all that later. 844-770-3776. It's an interesting point you bring up, Tausch. We heard Craig Karmazin bring that up on Sunday Karma this week with Jason on ESPN Wisconsin. We'll hear that coming up in a little bit as well. My question for you is, if you're up there at Lambeau Field this morning just like Jason is, and we'll hear all about it coming up in just a few minutes. What are you asking Mark Murphy today? Like, if you and Mark Murphy run into each other in line for bagels and coffee, or you happen to be in a professional setting at Lambeau Field, or wherever the case may be, what are you asking the president of the Green Bay Packers today, April 11th, 2023?
The tough part for these guys are you have to ask him something he'll answer. You can't say the question I have for Mark, for Brian, and for Matt, the brain trust up there, is what changed and why did you feel like you wanted to make this move this offseason with Aaron Rodgers? Why? Because they're going to say Jordan Love, but that's, if they firmly believe that, is it strictly because the team went 8-9 and is it that he didn't show up, that he wasn't responsive, and that he wasn't, in their mind, a good teammate? What was the thing that pushed the Packers' brain trust into making this decision? Because you don't make these decisions lightly. You think through it. Goody, I firmly believe, as I've seen this thing unfold, Goody did not want to do this last year. I think he wanted to trade him last year. I think he was overridden. So what made it in Mark Murphy's mind this year to trust Goody and to say it is time to – is it Jordan Love's 10 plays in Philadelphia? I don't think so. Is it Aaron Rodgers' constant complaining and not showing up to OTAs and not playing at the MVP level? Is it more personal than it is how he played? Those are the things that if I could get Mark to answer, I would love to hear what he has to say. Because the crux of this whole offseason, I'm not interested in his Thursday Night Football takes. I know I listened to a little bit of the audio before we jumped on. That's all great. That's the fascinating question that I have, and I think Packer fans have had. We have now, because it's been 26 days since I think Goody or Aaron, I think it was since Aaron Rodgers was on McAfee, we're talking about almost a month that this thing, because asking Mark, well, what's the holdup? He's not going to get into that. But this piece of it, I think he would answer. He shouldn't. But I think he would, and that's what I would have asked today if I would have gotten a chance to jump in there.
844-770-3776, the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Jesse and Tausch for the moment. Jason on his way back from Lambeau Field.
What would you have asked him?
To talk to Mark Murphy. We want to hear from you on the text line, what you would have asked Mark Murphy. I would have asked him similarly to what you're saying, like the why now for Jordan Love or moving on from Aaron Rodgers. I'm more interested in the interworkings of what's going on up in Green Bay right now among the silos. I would actually ask Mark Murphy, have you talked to Matt LaFleur, and what has he told you about how he feels about all this? Because I feel like we know roughly where Goody stands from action and from what's been said. We've heard what Mark Murphy has said on the WIAA girls basketball state tournament and everything else that he's said publicly. The person that we have really not heard from virtually at all this offseason is Matt LaFleur. So I would love to know what Mark Murphy's perception of how Matt LaFleur feels about what's going on so far this offseason, what that is. Because even if it's inaccurate, and even if it doesn't really tell you the whole story, or it's not LaFleur telling you himself, like, this is how I feel, what Murphy believes LaFleur feels, I think, is really a fascinating dynamic to understand. So that's what I would ask. What do you think Matt LaFleur feels right now?
All right, so if we're going to put a poll up today on Mark Murphy, which I think because Jason went over, and I've wanted to talk about this for a while. How are we grading Mark Murphy's tenure? How are we grading his ousting his quarterbacks? I think you look at the whole picture. All of us, I think even Jason, would say from a business standpoint, he gets an A. This team is flush with cash. the Titletown district has been a monster home run. They're building things left and right. They're in financial as good a position as any team in the NFL. So I think that part of it. Now, team building and siloing up his people and all of the other stuff, that's where my grade dips a little bit. Where my grade doesn't dip is when I'm talking about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. It is A+ all the way through. And leading off is their innovative and award-winning easy slide horizontal window, revealing tons of natural light and unobstructed views. And next up in the order, Pella's premium roll screens. Like magic, the screen rolls out of sight when you close the window. And on deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door. Like a great utility player, they can be placed anywhere on the field and succeed with custom sizes and colors. You can get 0% for 48 months when you order by April 30th at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions do apply.
Jason's ready to go. We will hear what he had to say, or really more importantly, what Mark Murphy had to say in his interaction with Jason this morning at Lambeau Field. Jason Wilde returns, and we'll hear from the Packers president next on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
This Bucks team is something special. There's unbelievable once-in-a-lifetime freakish talent like you've never seen before. The blocks, the dunks, the next-level energy, and a hungry core that's running the court, dropping shots, and posting stat after stat after stat. The playoffs presented by BMO are here. Fear the Deer. Keep up with all the postseason action at Bucks.com/playoffs. That's Bucks.com/playoffs.
Just because the buzzer hits doesn't mean the game ends. Highlights.
Holiday back to Giannis, and Giannis will staple it through with a two-hand jam.
Reaction.
Bucks have been very good. So we're talking about 3 months now that the Bucks have been the best team in the league, and the Bucks and the Sixers have been the 2 best teams by a wide margin.
Your thoughts.
Take care of the glass. We need to do that, and we did it in the fourth quarter.
Nobody knows the Bucks like Justin Garcia. Catch Bucks Talk after every game right here on 94.5 ESPN.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
The World Eating Championship Burrito has arrived at Qdoba, featuring freshly grilled chicken, Qdoba's custom 3-cheese queso, hand-smashed guacamole, roasted tomato salsa, cilantro lime rice, and black beans. Packed with flavor and featured in the first ever World Burrito Eating Championship. It's available for a limited time only, exclusively online at Qdoba.com or on the Qdoba app. It's the World Eating Championship Burrito. Available now at Qdoba.com and the Qdoba app until April 21st.
Milwaukee has relied on Ewald Automotive to keep them on the road for almost 60 years. We've been on a mission to provide the best experience whether you're servicing your car or shopping for a new one. Ewald may span across southeast Wisconsin, but our commitment remains local. Our customers are our neighbors. We live, work, and raise our families together in the same communities. And that's why it's our goal to help you find the right car for your family. Go to EwaldAuto.com.
Get everything you need to bring your yard back to life at the Spring Yard Prep event going on now at Fleet Farm. From power equipment to grass seed, we've got you covered so you can get your lawn looking great as spring comes around. And don't miss this great deal. When you buy 3 bags of Scott's Triple Shred Mulch, you get 3 free. Find everything you need in one stop during the Spring Yard Prep event now at Fleet Farm.
When I went looking for a place to rent, I wore a mask, but they could still see I'm black. The landlord told me
nothing available.
When I went looking for an apartment, I wore a mask. Obviously, I'm Latino. They said
the place has been rented.
My wife and I were house hunting.
We wore masks, but we're Asian American. And the real estate agent said,
you won't be happy here. If you suspect housing discrimination because of your race, file a complaint with HUD. Go to HUD.gov/fair housing. Fair housing. The law is on your side. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Spending more time at home? Don't forget that 94.5 ESPN's on your smart speaker. Just ask Alexa to open 94.5 ESPN. 94.5 ESPN on Alexa is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Y'all trying to do 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out. Pop it's showtime. Showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Showed up. I'm wearing Cuban links. Designer mix. Inglewood's finest shoes. Don't look too hard, might hurt yourself. Known to get the color red, the blues. Kill 'em. I'm a dangerous man.
To quote Jim Nance, hello, friends. It's great to be with you two. Thanks for holding down the fort
here. Yeah, Jesse was great that first segment. And Jason, not to poo-poo you by any stretch, we're on the clock. And we crushed being on the clock.
I can go. I mean, I got stuff I can do.
Hey, don't be so sensitive. Hey,
I'm
don't
not.
be so sensitive.
I appreciate a good. No, that was good.
Jesse, great job keeping us on the clock. That was well done.
I mean, you did transition
clock management
into your...
like Mike McCarthy. We got Mike McCarthy showing up here after going over to Lambeau.
We'll have less sleep and we'll be grumpy.
You transitioned into your own Pella read and
That's
just kind
true.
of did your own thing there. I was ready to keep going.
So thank you for your service.
I know you were. Well, you guys are welcome.
So I tried. We know don't confuse effort with results is one of the bylaws of this program from Brad Childress. I feel like I accomplished more than nothing, but I don't think we got a whole heck of a lot of enlightenment out of our time with Mark Murphy. Now, for those of you who were wondering where I was or are joining late, the Packers tailgate tour, which is headed to the northwest portion of the state. I think there's even a stop in Bayfield, if I read that correctly.
The San Francisco of Wisconsin, I hear.
For those of you that are avid listeners of the program, you know how much we love that area. But it is Elton Jenkins, Aaron Jones, HaHa Clinton Dix, Evan Dietrich Smith, who I believe is just Evan Smith, who is back in our area here.
Got rid of the Dietrich.
He dumped the Dietrich, yeah. It's like Jane Albright Dieterle. Devon House, and the league comes at you fast, Eddie Lacy.
Wow.
Now that's a crew. Now that would be a fun crew. Those tailgate tours, I don't know how they've changed. Boy, we had a heck of a time when we were on that tailgate tour now. Heck of a time.
I think there'll be
I
fun.
didn't realize the power of social media back in, I want to say it was 06. That it was me and Nick Barnett and the quarterback, and I can't remember who else was with us.
Aaron Rodgers was on the tour with you?
Yeah, we toured together. Yeah, it was a fun tailgate tour. We went out, and A-Rod, we all decided to go out after. It's a long day. I mean, they grind on you.
It's a lot of handshaking and baby kissing.
But so we would get done, and then we'd say, all right, let's let our hair down a little bit. And we went out, and this was real early in the Facebook, I think it was still called.
Okay.
And we're out and about, and there is nobody there. And then two people must have sent this post out, and within 5 minutes, it was like Coyote Ugly. Bar is up. We're serving drinks behind the bar, and it was just complete bedlam. And that's when I thought, whew, social media's got a power here. So,
big tech.
Enjoy yourselves, fellas, because that's a fun time.
So all those fellows spoke before the departure. I also got to see your old friend Rob Davis, who's back with the organization. Got to talk with him for quite a while we were waiting for things to get started. But Mark Murphy was the coup de grace at the end of our media session, and he did speak for about 5 minutes. And there were some questions about the tailgate tour, about Thursday Night Football. But you know what we all wanted to talk about was the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love transition. Clearly, the messaging from his staff, who do not want him flapping his gums, was received. Because he shut down Domofsky at one point. We'll play the entirety of that, but Jesse has cobbled together the portions that were my questions. Now,
we should have brought that cat. Where was that cat from that got all that good stuff from Murphy at the
Wausau, I believe was.
Eau Claire, I believe, is where he's from. Yeah. He I think he was the catalyst for maybe a policy change for the president speaking out. But I did try, and I always say it's not about the questions, it's about the answers. And if the questions get answers, then you did your job. Doesn't matter how good or bad the question was. I did my best. Here is some of our interaction with Mark Murphy as the bus prepared to pull out of Lambeau Field and head out on the tailgate tour. This is Packers president Mark Murphy.
Mark, when I think back to 2008, I remember going to the Boys and Girls Club and Mike McCarthy being asked a question by a little boy and Mike thinking we planted the question. Are you expecting a lot of questions about this during this tour, and how do you plan on handling those?
I do anticipate quite a few questions, and I anticipate saying that there is no update. It is interesting that 15 years ago we were in a similar situation. Yeah.
When you think back to that,
by the way, was my very first tailgate tour.
Oh, I'm aware. When you think back to that, obviously the fan base was pretty well divided. Do you get the sense that maybe this time around the organization has more support, and do you think you'll be able to get a feel for that during this tour?
I'm not going to comment on that. No.
Do you need a deal to get done before the draft, or are you guys okay going into the summer if that's what it takes?
No, again, that's something Brian is working on, and I've been actively involved, and there's really nothing more to say.
When we talk about 15 years, when we talk.
Aaron.
He's
got to pay attention to Aaron. We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
Well, drive carefully. When you think about 15 years later, what lessons did you take from that experience on your first tailgate tour and your first year in charge that you can apply now as you're dealing with this?
Well, I'm really glad that Aaron Rodgers turned out to be such a good quarterback, and I'm hopeful that Jordan Love turns out to be a similar quarterback. And with that, I'll leave.
And with that, I'll leave. Tausch, first time
his
hearing
discipline.
Those exchanges.
Yeah, his discipline there was
proud
fantastic.
of him.
I am really happy for Mark. He stood up to you big bad bullies and didn't cave, even though, boy, he wanted to. You could tell he wanted.
Oh.
He wanted to jump in and say of course he's happy that the Packer fan base isn't split. It's 85 or 90%. You could tell that was the case. If I only had video of it, you could probably see, and he's probably thinking to himself, boy, I can't say this because then that makes us even worse. But, oh, hell yeah, this feels good. It was such a disaster. I'm throwing suitcases of money at James Campen to get Brett Favre to retire. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And now we have crafted this so that Aaron Rodgers is the bad guy.
Right.
And that's great. And he was honest about, and he knows, and Goody knows, and Matt LaFleur knows that their jobs, and Mark's retiring, he's going to be done. But those guys all know Jordan Love better be good. That's your cat. That is everything, because that is what this is. That's what this has always been about. And when you were gone, I asked, Jesse was like, well, what would you ask Mark Murphy if you knew you'd get an answer? And I said, what changed? When did you make the decision that Aaron Rodgers no longer is the quarterback of this team? Because was it really when he had 10 throws against Philly? I don't think so. I think it's more the culmination of I'm sick of all this BS.
Correct.
And
Totally
you know
agree
what? That's fine. You can be sick of all that BS. But as he just said right there, you better be right. Because if you're wrong about this, everybody's star is going to be fizzled out up in Green Bay.
So there was more to it. We'll play the entirety of the back and forth. Rob Domofsky asked multiple questions, and then I did as well. Some of those you'll hear again. I will agree with you guys. He showed a discipline that he has not always
fantastic.
shown. And
kudos to Mark. Great job.
As someone who wants answers, I tip the cap to him because I thought, and again, this is not me trying to flex or pat myself on the back, I thought I had him. I thought that question about the fan base being divided in 2008.
That's a good question.
I thought, because he and Rob took video and I took audio for the radio program, I thought I had him. I thought he was going to say, well, it's nice that we have as many fans supporting our side of this, or something to that effect. And it looked to me like he was close. And then he's I'm not going to comment on that.
It felt that way.
Yeah.
It is
I
hard.
I had him.
When you're in control and you have taken over all the power within an organization, you don't want anybody telling you. You think Aaron Popke can tell me what to say? Like Mark Murphy wants, because just like when you questioned why he should be in charge of any football operations, and he could not have been more, I guess, just what the heck are you talking about, Wilde?
He was offended, yeah.
For sure he was offended. I'm sure he wanted to tell you and show you how great of a job he's done with this, and his discipline was remarkable. Because not hearing or seeing it until you just said that, I felt on the edge like he's going to go there.
Yes!
He's going to say, yes, the organization, we've won this PR battle, and it feels good. But he had the discipline to not do it. Now, is he saying that on the bus, heading up to Chippewa? Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, Wilde thought he had me? No. He can't get this old seasoned vet. And Popke's giving him knucks, saying, oh, man, we're good. We finally got this thing figured out.
Pouring some champagne with Eddie Lacy and Clinton Diggs. Oh, man, you guys see that? See what I did back there?
All right, now we'll play the entirety of that back and forth so you can hear it in case you're joining late, because Rob Domofsky of ESPN.com asked a few other questions. I would also say this, though. Again, I don't know who Craig Carton's sourcing is, but there was a story yesterday that came out about that. I don't know if you guys talked about that on my way over from Lambeau, but in that story, he claims that the deal was going to be done, and then Mark Murphy said basically, no, we're not giving away Aaron Rodgers for what's on the table currently, okay? So, again, I don't know the accuracy of that. I don't know who Craig Carton's, as you like to call him, sourcing is. But here's why I bring it up, and we'll talk more about that later in the program. Mark Murphy did make sure to say, as you heard him say, that he's been actively involved. Like, if you want to talk about discipline, There was, he said he could have stopped and said, Joe and Goody have been talking a lot. But then he goes one step further and says, and I've been actively involved. Interesting that he felt the need to add that little addendum. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Thank you.
I would agree.
I know you would also agree when I say that Kohler Services is absolutely fantastic, and we're thrilled to have them as a partner. Again, we're going to play the entirety of the Aaron Rodgers-related conversation. I also did talk to Elton Jenkins about it and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was very interesting on the subject as well. We'll try to get to that a little bit later in the program, but now here's Tausch to tell you about Kohler Services.
And are you ready? They're ready for a new quarterback. Mark Murphy has made that abundantly clear. Are you ready for a new shower? Well, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. And when you think quality, you think exclusive luxury brand in Wisconsin, Kohler is at the top of that list and is the only manufacturer offering fast professional installation and care for life. You can start enjoying your bath or shower this year with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com today to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
More from Mark Murphy as the tailgate tour bus pulls out of Lambeau Field and heads for the northwest portion of the state.
Chippewa!
Lots of questions.
Fun word to say. Chippewa!
About the quarterback transition. We'll hear more about it next. It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
A wide array of opportunities abound at Waste Management.
We're great environmental stewards. My position at Waste Management is making sure that we don't take anything we can't take, so make sure we're not accepting anything hazardous, and we're protecting the environment while doing what we need to do to take waste. I really like how Waste Management, even though it's a large corporation, they really put their people first. It's like a small family. I love coming to work every day. A lot of people can't say that.
Join the Waste Management family. Just search online, Waste Management Careers.
Looking for the best way to welcome new teammates or business partners to your team? Look no further. 3 Tree Marketing is a full-service branded merchandise agency using creative merchandising to share your company's story. Be the envy of others with specialized gifting and onboarding kits from 3 Tree, an amazing opportunity to best showcase what a brand is all about. Work with a team that thinks outside the box and becomes an extension of your team. See what else 3 Tree Marketing can do for your team and set an appointment today. 3treemarketing.com.
One's a Marquette Hall of Famer.
Packers in business selling tickets, pal.
What? The other may or not make things up from time to time.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Business for winning games.
No,
you
they're
win
not.
games, you
No,
sell
they're not.
tickets.
Homer and Tony.
They're in the business of being relevant, not winning.
It's all
what?
about
What do you
winning.
mean what?
90% of it is winning.
Phil's winning. They spend some more money to get free agents and stop trying to develop everybody.
13-3 is winning.
13-3 is winning.
You don't have to win a Super Bowl.
Okay,
to
like
sell
I
tickets.
said, being relevant, not winning.
Weekdays 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Jeff Levering for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Look at that effortless horizontal window slide, letting in lots of light. And that roll, it's a double play. Like magic, the screen disappears when the window is closed. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door, featuring the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Order by April 30th and get 0% for 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
Every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising.
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Elevate your next dining experience at the Bridgewater Modern Grill, featuring a seasonally driven kitchen inspired by a custom oak-fed grill. You can expect to enjoy a menu filled with wood-fired flavors and classic comforts. With the longest riverfront patio in the city, add the Bridgewater to the top of your list for your weekday lunch, weekend brunch, or dinner out with friends. Visit the Bridgewater Modern Grill at 2011 South 1st Street in Milwaukee's Harbor District or BridgewaterMKE.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
A big storm brewing? Don't miss it. It's Thursday Thunder this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. You could win a share of $400,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your club card April 1st through the 27th, and you could be one of 50 winners each Thursday. Showers might bring flowers, but thunder brings the boom. Only at Potawatomi. More info at paysbig.com/thunder. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Mark Murphy speaking with reporters before the departure of the Tailgate Tour bus. I know he knew that we were going to ask questions regarding Aaron Rodgers. And I knew that he knew that we knew that he knew that he was going to get those questions. And I knew that it was unlikely we'd get answers. Someone else asked the first Aaron Rodgers-related question. Here is how Mark Murphy answered that one.
I really don't have any updates on the situation with Aaron, other than obviously he's a great player for us, and I said before, he'll be in the Hall of Fame, he'll be his retire numbered, and but we're also excited about Jordan Love. I think he's handled things the right way, and he's developed and improved, and we think he's ready to get started.
It sounds like we're interviewing him at Augusta with the birds chirping.
What's going on? Those birds. What are those, red-breast robins? What are they? What birds are chirping up there?
We were outside of the American Family Gate.
Yeah, that's my favorite gate.
The AmFam Gate. It's right nearby that big, giant Lombardi trophy that they built. Mm-hmm. And there were a bunch of birds hanging out.
Yeah. Real? It really brings a smile to your face. I actually think, let's say we're having a bad segment, which doesn't happen often, but let's say it does. Jesse, I kind of want you to bring chirpy birds. Because even when it's a crap segment, chirpy birds will make you feel better about it. Or if the days you guys always are trying to tell me how cranky I am and, just chirp some birds, and immediately I have to put a smile on my face.
Mark, the deal with the Jets right now, is the ball essentially in their court? Like you've said, this is...
The birds are there, and so is Rob Domofsky. So I would say this. He felt awkward trying to answer that. I mean, he went back to, I've said it before, Aaron's a great player. He's going to have his retired number, which is not...
God, you're such a jerk. He misspoke.
I'm just saying.
There's sometimes you crush it. He's nervous.
I think that's my point. I'm not crushing him. I'm just saying he clearly wanted to make sure that he didn't add any fuel to the fire like he did during the girls' state high school basketball tournament. And so he was being careful, but that answer was not like, all right, I'm going to fall back on what a great player he was, which I get it. I'm not faulting him for it, but it was clear that he wanted to be careful.
He's such a great player. Why don't you want him? That's sort of a good follow-up. If he's such a great player, why is he not quarterbacking your team anymore?
Yeah, and why did you pass tense him when you were on the WIAA State High School Basketball Tournament podcast?
Oh, yeah. Would you want to try? Oh yeah.
Mark, could you have been more excited in your answer about trading Aaron Rodgers?
There was no hesitation. Hey, did you guys think you might trade it? Yeah. No, I was going to say, do you think you might? I wasn't even asking about Aaron Rodgers. I just said, did you want to go to Trader Joe's?
Nice. So Rob Domofsky then also tried his hand at getting an answer. Here is Rob of ESPN.com and our friend of show inquiring about where the trade talks stand.
Mark, with the deal with the Jets right now, is the ball essentially in their court? Like you've said, this is what we want, either A, B, C, or D, and you're kind of waiting for them to.
Yeah, I can't really get into that, Rob. I mean, I know Brian and Joe have been talking, and
Brian and Joe have been talking.
He wanted to say more, and he just stopped.
So,
you ever do that?
I feel like you have to give like this
talking.
To me was one of the more impressive performances in a press conference situation because Mark Murphy wants to talk. Whether he's a complicated fella or he likes. I think he enjoys these when you go to these banquets. I think he enjoys the whole process. I think he loves it.
He wants feedback from the audience. He wants positive reinforcement. He wants people to laugh at his jokes. He wants to get a reaction. I think you're right about that. Obviously, it was a slightly different type of crowd with us, and it was really, Domofsky and I and Cody Krupp from Channel 11 here in Green Bay, the Fox affiliate, who asked most of the questions of Murphy when it came to Rodgers-related stuff. So, again, I thought the last thing he said is the most important thing, and he had the self-awareness to have it be his walk-off line, which, again, he's right about this. What he learned from 2008 is if the next guy's good, it really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how ugly it is on his way out the door. Doesn't matter anything. But if the guy next isn't good like Aaron Rodgers was, that's a big matzo ball out there then. And good luck to you, sir.
Well, I'm really glad that Aaron Rodgers turned out to be such a good quarterback, and I'm hopeful that Jordan Love turns out to be a similar quarterback. And with that, I'll leave.
I like that he dropped the mic. I'll tell you what, Mark Murphy, A+ on his presser today. A+.
I thought that answer was a win for everybody. I thought that was a win for us, those of us that were asking questions. I thought that was a win for him because it was not just, I can't really comment on that. And it showed an awareness that isn't always shown. Because that is what it all comes down to. For all of the time we spent and eventually when the trade goes through and everything else, it all comes down to is Jordan Love any good or not? And I'm not talking about this year. Because remember, Aaron Rodgers was not Aaron Rodgers the first year. I think we will see that he will have been better in 2008 than Jordan will have been in 2023. But I don't know that for sure. We'll see. But I think Aaron Rodgers also was put in a much better position to succeed in 2008 than I think Jordan is being put in.
I fundamentally disagree with you on that.
Offensive line is a push. Offensive line is a push, in my opinion. We'll get into that because the dude that played running back for you in 2008 was pretty damn good, too.
Yeah, they're pretty dang good there, too, now. So, Jason, I said before you got back on, I give Mark Murphy a much higher grade. I gave him an F for his handling of Favre. I thought it was disastrous. The whole thing was a complete and utter mess. It was his first year, as he made sure you knew, and he's been there 15 years. I think he's handled this outside of his WIAA appearance, which, by the way, probably sprung this thing forward in a fast way. They probably could have just laid in the weeds until Goody spoke. Somebody had to do it. Mark Murphy, as the leader, went and kind of took all of that shrapnel that he took. I think Mark Murphy has done a much better job, and he doesn't want to admit it, but they have TKO'd Aaron Rodgers when it comes to the PR battle of this. The Packers fan base could not be more unified in the love of Jordan Love now than anything for Aaron Rodgers. There are people that think, be careful, but I think even those people, and I put you and I put myself in that category, all understand why they're doing what they're doing. So it is I think, an utter TKO, and for as bad of a job as Mark did with the Favre transition, handing suitcases of cash and doing all this other stuff, I think they've done a much better job. And if they can get a 1 and a 2, it turns into an A for the decision for getting what they did at this time when nobody else was going to take this contract on. Now, if Aaron Rodgers is great with the Jets and Jordan stinks, it turns immediately into an F. And that's where Mark's mind is, but he fully understands that. But he has done a much better job in his second go-around at transitioning from a Hall of Fame quarterback than he did in year one.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit because your TKO feels a little premature. And it also feels like that maybe there were some self-inflicted, like kind of punching yourself kind of things that may have contributed to where Aaron Rodgers is at in the ring at the moment. We'll talk about that next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what you need when you've been in a serious truck accident. Call Gruber Law Offices. We've successfully helped people injured by big trucks for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Until justice stands for all, our lawyers will never rest. More at earthjustice.org/neverrest. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
At Evans Transportation, they love the sound of Milwaukee baseball. Bats cracking, crowds cheering, brats grilling. And Evans is a big fan of manufacturing runs, both on the diamond and in supply chain management. When manufacturers have accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, they come to Evans. Because just like in baseball, teams who know how to manufacture runs have the best chance of long-term success. Good luck to the Brew Crew from Evans and Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
I never really thought about tools until I bought a house in the suburbs. It's like this weird homeowner test if I need a tool for a project and don't have it. And my neighbor Ted loves to give me that look when I ask to borrow a pole saw. A year ago, I didn't even know pole saws existed. And now I gotta borrow one from Ted? What is happening?
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a new kitchen package of state-of-the-art appliances with innovations to make everything from meal prep to cleanup easier. Making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. Bring on spring with savings on select kitchen appliances in-store and online at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6-pack 0.5-liter bottles or 6-pack 7.5-ounce mini cans, Coke products 4 for $17. 8 to 10-ounce pasta or 7 to 15-ounce sauce, selected varieties, Rana pasta or sauce, 2 for $8. 4.5-ounce package, selected varieties, Sargento balanced breaks, 2 for $6. 8-count package, selected varieties, Jimmy Dean breakfast entrees, $9.99.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
It's Gary Ellison here from Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape from the office? Or maybe you want to impress a potential client? Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center offers a top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play courses like St. Andrews, Whistling Straits, and more. Even when it's not perfect golf weather outdoors, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's simulators, entertainment, and their best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer. At just $35 an hour for a bay, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is the perfect weekday getaway. Book your bay today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Well, I'm really glad that Aaron Rodgers turned out to be such a good quarterback, and I'm hopeful that Jordan Love turns out to be a similar quarterback. And with that, I'll leave.
That is Mark Murphy.
I love that.
The mic
he
drop.
He basically flashed the deuces B. Sign it. I'm heading to the CF for a little TT. Did you figure it out?
I did.
Chippewa
Falls titled the Tailgate Tour. Yeah.
Tailgate Tour.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I want to push back on something you said earlier. And not that I disagree that his grade is higher, because I agree with you on that. Hard for it to be lower since you did give him an F for the first experience.
Can anyone, I think even if he looked back at it, that would have been a fun question. How would you grade your performance in that Brett Favre transition? He couldn't have given himself higher than a C. And if you give yourself a C, that typically means a D, and it probably should be an F.
Right.
That's typically how that plays.
So, and again, I know we joke about it. I've been making the joke for 15 years. They did not, in fact, take a suitcase full of cash to Hattiesburg to deliver, but they basically did the next best thing, which was offer him $20+ million to stay retired. It was a bribe. Brett Favre called it a bribe.
Yeah.
It was a bribe.
Yeah, it was a bribe. Sure.
So it's hard to screw it up to the degree that he did the first time around. So, yes, I agree his grade is higher. But I'm not sure that the public opinion is pro-Packers because of how well the Packers have handled it. I think it's just people are really sick and tired of Aaron Rodgers, and there's a lot of people that really don't like him, including our buddy Big Cat. Like I was on yesterday during my weekly hit with Scalzo and Brust. And Big Cat, man, he hates Aaron Rodgers. Like, hates. And he admits it. Like, condescending, arrogant, smug, all the things about him. I feel like Aaron Rodgers, because, look, it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault this trade has not happened. Agreed? This is not Aaron Rodgers' fault that we're still sitting here. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can agree with that.
Thank you for your lukewarm support.
Well, because, I mean, I think if he stays out of it and lets Woody Johnson just do his thing, I think Green Bay gets the 1 and the 2 and they're done. But I think the fact that Aaron's like, no. Don't do this. Trust me, they're screwed. We hold all the cards, and to hell with Brian Gutekunst and the Green Bay Packers. I think Aaron probably has had some of those conversations
I would think so.
with Woody and his brain trust.
But I would argue that the court of public opinion is in the Packers' favor, not because of their handling of it. Because, look, we're going to talk to Goody before the draft, and the question that I feel like I have to ask is, Goody, and I'm going to read the quote to him. I say, let me make sure I get this quote right. You said during the bye week that you learned when you first set foot in this building that whatever comes with a great quarterback, it's worth it. When did Aaron Rodgers stop being worth it to you?
That is so good. That's
right?
like Tim Russert stuff.
Thanks.
I used to love Timmy Russert.
Yeah, he's good.
He'd throw these quotes up on the old screen. That's back when journalism was journalism. That's another conversation for another day. But that was where you use their own words against them, because what are they going to say? I was misquoted? Well, no, I actually have the audio file, and that's what you said. So what's changed? And that's the crux of this whole thing. And what I'm interested in, I think most Packer fans are, I know everybody's sick of it. They're so sick of it that it's just crazy how everybody just can't get enough. But people are sick of it, no doubt. But the crux of it that nobody really knows, and I think at some point we'll hear, is what changed. Is it the fact that did Aaron tell them he was 90% retiring? Did he say that before he went in the cave? Was it the fact he didn't respond to phone calls? Or was it Goody never wanted him? Goody wanted to get rid of him 2 years, as his plan was with Jordan Love, and he has persuaded Mark Murphy and Matt LaFleur to come along with him. What is it that happened? And until you figure that component out, I think Aaron has completely lost the PR battle when it comes to how fans feel. It's abundantly clear. We've done it 100 different ways, and numbers are always in that 75 to 80%. We're done with Rodgers. We're just done with him. So you pushed back. The Packers organization just let Aaron be Aaron.
Yeah.
They let him go out and do his thing, and sans Mark Murphy at the WI, the Packers have said, we're going to continue to play this process out. We're going to see how it goes, And then when Mark did that obviously sped the process up, but that was what the end result was always going to be anyways.
To Tausch's point, there are 15 minutes left in yesterday's poll about whether you'd be okay with giving Aaron Rodgers $58.3 million to not play for the team this year. 7,335 votes. And by the way, it's 69.8% that say, no, that's ridiculous. But if you're good at math, that still means 30% of you are fine with giving him $60 million to not be the quarterback.
Yeah.
Interesting results there. We'll talk more about that. Plus, we'll talk a little bit more about what Mark Murphy had to say and this Craig Carton report on his television radio program that he does. And it was also interesting to hear Elton Jenkins and Aaron Jones talking about what their perspective is on this. Remember, Aaron Jones spent some time with Jordan Love working out in California for a day. Posted it on his Instagram. So it's interesting how players are trying to walk the line between being excited about what's next and saying goodbye to a guy who's been a pretty good player for them, and they obviously have relationships with.
Matty Coonan kind of getting after you, and I think this is interesting. Jason saying it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault this deal isn't done, and then ignore the fact that 61 days of the offseason where the Packers waited on Aaron Rodgers' decision.
Yeah, Matt Coonan can get after me if he'd like, but they said all along, and they apparently agreed to the idea of March 15th having an answer by then. So the Packers clearly told him that was when they wanted an answer, and they got one on March 14th, or a few days earlier before he went on McAfee. So the timeline followed one that appeared to be agreed upon by both sides. We'll talk more about this. Way to go, Mark Murphy. Good job. I'm disappointed, and I'm proud of you. The 10 o'clock hour begins in 2 minutes. Stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Your first date? Going well. The carnival? Cash only. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you, with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So when you decide to win that giant stuffed purple raccoon at $5 a throw, we're looking out for you, no matter how many throws it takes. you've got this. With 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Get everything you need to bring your yard back to life at the Spring Yard Prep event going on now at Fleet Farm. From power equipment to grass seed, we've got you covered so you can get your lawn looking great as spring comes around. And don't miss this great deal. When you buy 3 bags of Scott's Triple Shred Mulch, you get 3 free. Find everything you need in one stop during the Spring Yard Prep event now at Fleet Farm.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Tony Smith. The professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, you need to be living life to the fullest and doing the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Don't wait. 414-285-3474. Hey, this is Tony Smith. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This show just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Now all my dreams are coming true. Yeah.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. You heard Mark Murphy talking with Rob Domofsky and me and a cavalcade of other reporters. If you missed some of our conversation, you can always go back on Wisconsin On Demand. Presented by Gruber Offices, One Call, That's All. Thanks to David and his team for supporting the show and for supporting Wisconsin On Demand. Gruber Offices, One Call, That's All. We'll play some more of those clips again throughout the remainder of the show. But one of them, you hear Mark Murphy say that Goody and Joe Douglas have been talking, and then he says, and I've been actively involved. Well, that's what Craig Carton has also heard. Longtime radio host in New York City, does a program that is carried on FS1 as well. And again, I don't know him. I don't know who his sources are. I don't know how
check his
accurate
background.
they are.
Make sure. We have to be fair. You have to check his background. You can Google it, allegedly. Check his background.
I'm purely speaking from the perspective of who would have talked to him and told him these things. I don't know that. But he had some interesting reports.
I bet you don't know that.
Huh?
I bet you don't know who Craig Carton
That's
well, I bet
allegedly.
that you don't.
Allegedly.
Clever. So
is it allegedly if you've actually
if you've
been
been
in prison?
convicted and
the
you've gone to
opposite of
jail? No, I don't
Okay.
think it's.
I still want to make sure our P's and Q's are all
I don't want to cast any aspersions. I just
don't
want
wanna
to
deal
talk
with that.
here. Yeah, exactly. So, you heard Mark Murphy tell us an hour ago that he's been actively involved. Well, Craig Carton would agree with that assessment, because here is what he said on his program yesterday about the reason why the Jets-Packers trade of Aaron Rodgers has not been completed.
What about Aaron Rodgers? Deal's still not done. The deal is still not done, and there's infighting in Green Bay
between Kuntz and Mark Murphy about what the legitimate value should be in a trade for Aaron Rodgers. That's the latest that's coming out of Green Bay right now, is that Kuntz was ready to make a deal 2 weeks ago. And Mark Murphy came to him and said, do you like your job? Because I like my job. We are not making a trade for what's on the table. So now there's infighting in Green Bay. The Jets still think they're going to get him, but man, oh man, you could lose Odell Beckham Jr. and Aaron Rodgers in a 2-week span. I would not want to be a Jet. Oh, I am a Jet. Damn it. Yeah, this could go south quick.
All right. I assume.
Who's Kuntz? Is that Goody?
Kuntz is Goody.
That's Goody, yeah.
Kuntz.
Is he related to Toontz's? Toontz's is the driving cat?
The driving cat.
Kuntz?
Who is related to Grouch the cat? R.I.P.
No. Don't put that. Yeah, we're not.
They're both famous cats. They're both famous cats.
I thought you. Okay. Just let's not use Grouch's name in vain under any circumstances.
I would never blaspheme.
Cat was an absolute warrior. An absolute warrior.
But he couldn't drive a car. He could drive a tractor.
No, I bet he could have driven a tractor if we put him in the position.
All right, Kuntz. I'm sorry, we're getting bogged down in cats and Kuntz.
Kuntz.
Is that better or worse than Kraus?
It's better than Kraus. Even though
agree.
Kraus won 6 championships.
R.I.P.
Kuntz.
Much like Grouch. So, infighting. Infighting is the word he... Now, again, the veracity of what he is saying, I can't vouch for. I don't know who his sources are. Do you like your job? I'm having a hard time envisioning Mark Murphy going to Brian Gutekunst and saying, do you like your job? Because I like mine, and we're not making the trade for what's on the table.
Yeah, I don't know if Cartone has any concept of what the structure is here in Green Bay. Because Mark Murphy is not going to Kuntz, as he calls him, and saying, do you like your job? Because Kuntz, I can't even say this. Kuntz, what the hell is going on? Brian Gutekunst is the general manager, and his job will be directly reflected on how Jordan Love plays quarterback. This draft comp of what he's getting, I hope to God Mark Murphy isn't meddling and saying, you need to get more. Mark, you hired Kuntz to do these jobs. You've, again, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong on this, that Mark Murphy did meddle last year when Kuntz was thinking about making this big move to get rid of Aaron Rodgers last year. Didn't happen. And then I believe that there was we're going to pay him and we're going to keep him, and he's going to ride this out. And then the season unfolds, and that's where I would love to get the answers. I haven't gotten those. But if Mark Murphy is saying, no, we're not trading him unless we get exactly what we want, what is Kuntz even doing in his job? Why does...
You just can't help yourself.
I didn't start this. I don't like this, but this is where you guys have taken me. If I'm Brian Gutekunst, I'm thinking, all right, already I get blindsided before you hire me with this. I still love this job. And now I wanted to do this last year, and you shunned me. I understood why, but I didn't like it. And now I have a deal in place with, I don't know what he calls Joe Douglas. I'm curious to see what his nickname is.
Doogie?
For Doogie.
And Kuntz?
He's got
Saturday
Doogie on the ropes. And he's got this deal done, and then Mark Murphy steps over it? I have a hard time buying what Cartone is saying. I do.
So if you had to put a percentage on the likelihood that occurred?
5%.
See, I think it might be higher than that, in my mind. I do.
Then Mark Murphy goes into Kuntz's office and says, you're not trading him unless Do you like your job? You're not doing this. Right. What? He's going to fire Kuntz?
No.
If he doesn't get a 1?
No.
That's what Cartone is implying. Right, I can't go more than 5% option on that because that sounds ludicrous to me.
All right. So let's not get bogged down in Kuntz, and do you like your job? Because I like mine. Okay.
Kuntz.
Maybe he's taking some poetic license there. Again, I don't know Craig at all. I would say this. I
don't think you get
a
along
scenario?
Great with Craig.
Huh?
I don't think you and Cartone are.
He and I are different people.
All.
I think that's safe to say.
I think you guys live in a different world. Yeah, in a lot of different worlds.
I think so too, and I'm fine with that. My question is, you can't picture Goody thinking like a football guy and saying, we got to get this guy the hell out of here so we can make it the best scenario, the best case for Jordan to be successful. 2-2s is fine. If it moves up to a first-round pick, great. Let's be done with it. Let's get rid of the drama, and let's just get started on 2023 without any of this hanging over. And Mark Murphy, you can't picture Mark Murphy saying, we got to get more for him. Or if Rodgers turns out to be great and Jordan turns out to be bad, we're going to be crucified. The fans are on our side now, but if Aaron goes and gets them to a Super Bowl and Jordan stinks, we have to at least be able to say, look, we got the best deal we could. We got a first-round pick for him, et cetera, et cetera. You can't picture Murphy saying that. I can't picture him calling him Kuntz, but I can picture Mark Murphy saying we got to get more for him or we're going to have a tough time here.
That's not what he said.
All right, forget about the poetic license of the exchange. Do you like your job? Because I like mine. I agree. I can't picture Mark Murphy saying that.
Do I think Mark Murphy wants to get more of a haul than what they're going to get? Yeah, I think every Packer fan wants it.
Agreed.
I think Kuntz wants that. I think everybody. I think Brian Gutekunst would love to get that. But you know what? That's where Goody should say, well, I wanted to do it last year and we would have gotten an absolute haul. What on earth is going to happen?
Yeah.
So all of those things that potentially and you might be buying into, of course Mark Murphy wants more. And I think Mark Murphy wants to balance if Aaron is really good and Jordan stinks, let's lessen the blow. But he said it with you at the end. None of that's going to matter. If Jordan Love isn't good and Aaron Rodgers is, this is a monumental disaster that the Green Bay Packers have done. So all of this other stuff, 2-2s, a 2 and a conditional, whatever it is, you didn't trust Goody didn't trust his own instincts. He drafted Jordan 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He wanted to move to him last year. He wanted him to be your starter.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? The way last season played out and leaving Devontae go, that was the move. And it would take stones upon stones for Mark Murphy to imply anything to Brian Gutekunst that Craig Carton has said. I don't care how verbatim or not it is. Mark Murphy would have to be – he'd have to have some monster stones to go in and say, well, you got to get more. Because if I'm Goody, I'm saying, what the hell are you talking about? I would have gotten a lot more if you didn't do this last year. That's – again, this is all speculative. I'm not saying this is what happened. But if judging by the actions and words of what Brian Gutekunst has done, that's how I saw this scenario playing out. And now, for it to be held up, if indeed it is the case, Mark Murphy is way out there on this. And if I'm Brian Gutekunst, I'm really questioning, what is my job if I can't do this?
And this all goes back to the structure that he's created that he also did not appreciate my question about when he changed it, right? Because, again, when you do this, your president is saying, I never once heard Bob Harlan say, I've been actively involved in blank, unless it was getting the referendum passed for the stadium.
Titletown would be something that Mark could say. The sledding hill.
But football related, I've been actively involved in trade talks.
So do you think, you know Goody, you've known him a long time, Goody put those parameters in. If it was the old structure where Brian Gutekunst was Ted Thompson / Ron Wolf, is this trade done, in your opinion?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Which I have to, if I believe that, and this has changed, I will say this clip, if it's true, and again, I don't know if it is. I don't know who talks to Craig Carton. But if this is true, then, and I've had a few people point this out on Twitter.
I think it's Marlboro Red. Who's up there nicknamed Marlboro Red?
That's actually at that Shell station in Francis Creek, who, by the way, I still tried to pay. I stopped there especially on Friday, and they still couldn't take my money. If this is true, then even though Goody will never apologize for lying to me or admit when he was wrong about different maneuvers he's made, I have to say that I've been referring to this being Goody digging his heels in. If this is true, then I'm wrong. And it's the Packers and Murphy digging their heels in. And if I believe that Goody would have taken 2 2s with a chance to have a first-round pick in 2024, if this is true, then I'm wrong to have thought that this was Goody who dug his heels in. Now, again, I don't know that. This could be false, right? I mean, if you deliver the piece of news that you have by calling the Packers general manager Kunst, it makes it a little bit hard.
Credibility drops. Now, it makes you smile. It makes you smile.
You're a culinary guy. What is couscous? Because that's what I keep thinking of.
Well, couscous is a Mediterranean type of rice. It's
so
very
like a rice?
Small circles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a small circular grain.
Okay.
Kunst.
Very bland, typically. It's very bland.
So would someone who eats a lot of Kunst need LabCorp, or would they be skinnier and they wouldn't be eligible for that testing because, well, they eat healthy, and Kunst seems like a healthy side dish?
Yeah, I don't feel like there's a ton of LabCorpers wolfing down couscous at a regular basis, but I don't know. What I do know is if you're looking for a little extra cash, whether it's buying a house, getting a new car, buying some eggs, whatever it might be, LabCorp has a variety of open trials that will fit your schedule. And right now, healthy adults ages 18 to 60 with a BMI between 18 and 32. That study involves one stay of 8 nights plus 7 follow-up visits. Woo! 10,328 bones will be provided for your time and your participation. That's a good chunk of change. They also have a trial where they're looking for healthy, overweight males and females age 18 to 55. Females must be of non-childbearing potential. Looking for some big bodies here. Body mass index between 30 and 39.9. Study involves one stay of 6 nights with 2 follow-up visits, and you can be comped up to $3,700, which will be provided for your time and participation. Go to LabCorp, clinicaltrials.com. That's LabCorp, clinicaltrials.com.
All right. I don't know if he calls him Kunst again or not, but there's another clip from Craig Carton that we want to hear, and we will hear that and talk about it next. So stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula on Advent's one-stop shop office-based procedures approach to solving breathing triangle problems.
But a lot of folks are like, I don't want to go to surgery. You know, isn't there something else we can do? And at Advent, there is something else we can do. We have a whole host of office-based options where you don't have to go to surgery. We can do it under local anesthesia, get these things taken care of. How does that sound? And don't be surprised when you hear that a lot of people go for those options. When given the choice between surgery and office procedures, almost everybody that we talk to and give them the choice, they choose the office. That's not surprising. That's just understanding your patients and offering them the options that they would choose. So I think at Advent, when you put all that together, we are a one-stop shop for these issues.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
This Bucks team is something special. There's unbelievable, once-in-a-lifetime freakish talent like you've never seen before. The blocks, the dunks, the next-level energy, and a hungry core that's running the court, dropping shots, and posting stat after stat after stat.
All this action will have you on your feet cheering Fear the Deer. The playoffs presented by BMO are here. Get your single game tickets now at bucks.com/playoffs.
When you're injured, call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 30 years and proudly partnering with Wilde Tausch. Miss any of the show? Find it with Wisconsin On Demand. Presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's turbo high output engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
It's Jeff Levering for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Look at that effortless horizontal window slide, letting in lots of light. And that roll, it's a double play. Like magic, the screen disappears when the window is closed. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door, featuring the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Order by April 30th and get 0% for 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, are you ready for a new shower? If you are, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for over 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I still haven't recovered from Kunst.
Yeah, it's a weird name. I never, like, Goody's name gets butchered all the time. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody. Is that like is he making fun of him, or is that just a mispronunciation?
Yeah. Kuntz.
Well, is Kuntz? I don't think is that bad?
I think that's him. This is an approach you might want to consider, Tausch. If you know that the name is hard and you're going to struggle with it, just come up with a new name that you can call him, and everyone's in on the joke.
That's disrespectful. No. Goot.
Not disrespectful.
It's all Goot with me. It's all Goot.
And you're the only one that calls him Goot.
I know, that's why I like it.
There's a lot of texters and tweeters to our show that now call him Goot.
Reacting to Tausch calling him Goot.
But I don't spell
Goody.
it G-O-O-T. It's G-U-T-E, Goot. Like
Sehr
very
gut,
German.
ja, kleiner Mann.
It's sehr gut.
All right, well, I don't know if this is sehr gut or not, which, by the way, that is very good for those of you that don't speak German. But Craig Cartone also has an opinion on the timeline based on, again, whoever he's talking to. Here is part 2 of Craig Carton's update on the Packers-Jets trade talks.
Well, he better be coming here because you're done if he's not. You can't dance this dance and now not deliver the franchise, even if it's for 1 year. on Aaron Rodgers. And I know for a fact, if this does not get done prior to the draft, Aaron Rodgers will not be a New York Jet. He won't be. Really? And that is an agreement that they have in Green Bay between Kuntz and Murphy. If the deal does not get done before this draft, Aaron Rodgers ain't going to be a Jet, because then they're going to open it up to what other teams might be offering, like San Francisco.
Sure, Felicia. What is that old saying?
The bye, Felicia.
Bye. Yeah, that is just all right.
Sure,
I am going to go with a declaration. Can I make a declaration?
I'll do the clown.
No more Craig Carton stuff. That was just absurdly stupid.
I know anytime someone says "I know for a fact,"
they
don't know for a fact.
No, that's really dumb, and our audience just got a lot dumber for listening to what he had to say there. He doesn't know jack. Who's he talking to? Is he talking to Goot, who he's calling Kunst, or Mark Murphy? So this is all about the Jets wanting to get Aaron in-house. The fact that he thinks that if it doesn't get done by the draft, it's over. Is it going to make it more complicated? I believe so. Do I think it's going to get done probably that week? Yes. Time is elapsing. It's not doing anybody any good. But to say it's dead and over because, trust me, I've heard or whatever it is, no, I'm good, man. I'm not going to trust you. I don't want any gambling tips. I'm good. I don't need any more of Craig Carton and his Packer takes. There's plenty of other people. Boomer Esiason I'll listen to. He's talking to Joe Douglas. I don't think Boomer Esiason is taking Craig Carton takes very seriously. They used to do a show together. I'm done with Craig Carton. Okay, so when you guys want to talk Craig Carton again, I will politely excuse myself from the conversation, and I'm going to move off until you want to do trivia or something else. So when I see Craig Carton on the sheet, I will say that is great. I am going to take a 15-minute break because that is ludicrous, and I don't want to make – I want us to think – I want us to have this hypothetical. That's idiotic, and I don't want to do that anymore. So that is my declaration on Craig Carton.
So if we put him on the rundown, you're going to ex-Kunst yourself from the conversation?
Not bad. That's not bad. You know what I'll do? I will just grab my pun calendar that I've been neglecting. I'm only in March.
Yeah.
So I'll look and I'll see if I can't find some good little puns to get back to you guys with.
Well, you can also grab a Coors Light, which you could do momentarily. Because of my clock management with Eric Name, who, by the way, if you are a Bucks fan and you are, I don't want to say disgruntled, but you don't feel like we cover that team enough.
Did you just say disgruntled?
Yeah, I did.
A pig lost his voice, and now he's disgruntled. That literally just pulled up on my pun sheet. That is fascinating.
It's almost like I have the same calendar, but I definitely don't. Eric Name was great yesterday. And so if you don't get enough Bucks talk on this program...
Does Eric Name play cards? Is he a poker player?
Maybe. He might.
Oh, boy.
Well, shuffling playing cards requires all hands on deck.
The disgruntled was better. Yeah.
These both aren't bad in the grand scheme, though. It might be top 5 for the year.
I'll tell you another thing. Over the weekend, I am a monster fan. I love cheese. I think most Wisconsinites love cheese unless you're lactose intolerant, right? I am a big fan now of the sharp cheddar. And I once heard of a knight that would fight using only a block of cheese. The legend says that it was extra sharp.
All right. First of all,
No?
I couldn't tell if that was a pun setup at one point or if that was like a weekend story.
We had gotten this 5-year aged cheddar, and we were waiting to bring it out, and it stuck. It stayed in our fridge for a while, and I brought it out, and man, it's got that extra bite.
Yeah.
Sharp cheddar.
I do love
it's
sharp
an
cheddar.
acquired taste, but man, is it good.
This is like a weird combination of a stand-up routine and like story time.
You know who we need here? We need Mark Murphy's laugh track when we do these. There we go. All right, what we really need to do, by the way, I was trying before we went to the Chuckle Hut with Tausch and his puns to mention that Eric Name was great yesterday. So, again, what we do on this show, when we're talking Bucks, when we're talking Brewers, we go to the experts so we don't have to fake it ourselves. Eric was awesome. If you missed it, check it out on Wisconsin On Demand, presented by Grubel Offices. Now, because of that, we didn't get to trivia, so we're playing trivia twice today. Let's play it for the first time here. Jesse, what is category number 1, and what caller would you like?
Category number 1 today, question marks. Questions about people named Mark. Since
ooh, I like that.
Mark
My favorite
Murphy.
name.
I like it. Yeah.
My favorite name outside of Eric.
Second trivia week. Questions about people named Elton, which will be a much shorter trivia portion. What do you got? Elton Brand, Elton Jenkins, Elton John. Is there anybody else?
That's 3. That's pretty good.
Mark Murphy spoke for what, about 5 minutes total before his mic drop? Caller 5, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 5 right now for Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Tausch is going to tell you before we play about his love for Coors Light.
Yeah, the tailgate tour. Whew, did we drink a lot of Coors Light back in the day? I'm sure the boys, they'll be fired up to have a Coors Light or two on their trip because you get done with a long day of tailgating. Nothing better than a Coors Light. Brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered. And it is cold packaged because it is made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light is refreshing. It is crisp and is only 102 calories. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Trivia's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
That poor shotgun of yours. It only sees the light of day during a hunting trip or two each year. Don't you think that bad boy deserves to be fired year-round? Bring it to Waukesha Gun Club, one of Wisconsin's largest shotgun-only clubs. Their Sporting Clay League begins April 29th with trap leagues on May 13th. Form a team with other friends of neglected shotguns or join a team of your own. Waukesha Gun Club has over 98 acres and is the perfect place for business or family fun outings. Learn more at waukeshagunclub.org.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by WM, the leading provider of comprehensive waste management services in North America. Learn about career opportunities in Wisconsin by visiting careers.wm.com.
Another series win for the Brewers as they take 2 of 3 from the Cardinals over the weekend at AmFam Field. The reason behind the start to the season the crew has had? Here's manager Craig Counsell.
You can pick everybody in the lineup now, and we've got contributions from the first 9 games. That's a good offense. That's just a tough offense to regularly keep down. The top of the lineup doing a great job. In some earlier games with Homestead, it was the bottom of the lineup that had done a great job. So when you're getting that kind of all around the lineup, that's what good stretches of baseball look like.
It's now out west for the crew this week for series against the Diamondbacks and Padres on the road.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by WM.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Tony Smith. The professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, you need to be living life to the fullest and doing the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Don't wait. 414 285-3474.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Really looking at the entire space holistically. The environment, the walls, ceilings, lighting, flooring, furniture, technology, along with acoustics.
To conceptualize how the end users are going to interact with the room, from the furniture all the way down to the AV, having that work seamlessly within the environment and often hiding within the furniture.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
Kessler's is America's largest employee-owned diamond store.
It's the diamond store where the owners think like you do.
As shoppers, we want better prices and more choices.
That's why we give you better prices and more choices.
We don't try to choose for you. We let you choose.
You can choose a diamond from a diamond mine.
A diamond as old as the earth itself.
You can choose a created diamond from a plasma chamber.
A diamond as new and fresh and sparkling as springtime.
And now you can choose a flickering firelight diamond.
Flickering firelight diamonds sparkle with a rich and regal golden glow.
At Kessler's, you choose from 3 different kinds of diamonds.
3 different kinds of diamonds.
Earth diamonds from diamond mines.
Created diamonds from plasma chambers.
And flickering firelight diamonds with a rich, regal golden glow.
We like to have choices, so we give you choices.
Kessler's is the diamond store where the owners think like you do.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Before we get to trivia, the poll is in the field. Jesse, how did you... And please tell me you got a kunst in there in some form or fashion.
I didn't.
Okay.
I should have, though. Today's poll, Mark Murphy says he has been actively involved in the process as the Packers and Jets negotiate an Aaron Rodgers trade. As a Packers fan, do you think it's good for Murphy to be actively involved in the trade process? Yes or no?
How you voting, old TT?
I honestly wish you could have put in there absolutely not, because that's how I would have voted. It would have been more Kuntz comes to me and says, hey, we're making this trade, and Mark's like, oh, yeah, good, sounds good. It could be a stronger no from me, dog. Randy Jackson.
Thank you. Since you were running down American Idol the last time it came up on this program, I appreciate you going old school with
Not
Randy
the
Jackson.
original.
When
Whoa,
it was
whoa.
great. No,
never the original.
I know. You're old school, Simon Cowell. All right, let's play some trivia. And let's welcome in our contestants. It is Dave and Shawno. Dave, all kinds of time to chit-chat with us again today. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
How you voting in our poll before we play trivia?
I'm with Tausch. Absolutely not should be the no part of it. It just reinforces my belief. It just reinforces my belief that he is directly to blame for all this.
There you go. Dave, I think I asked you this last time, but is Shawno really Shawno or is it Shawano? Did I ask that last time? I think I did.
It's pronounced
it's
Shawno.
spelled.
I know it's spelled goofy, but it's pronounced Shawno.
Okay. I know I know we pronounce it Shawno. I'm always curious on that. The English language. What a thing. What a thing. All right. Here we go. As Jason grilled.
What a thing.
It is.
The English
if you're trying
language.
to teach,
what a thing!
If you're trying to teach someone the English language with all of its nuances,
You're right.
it is what a
You're
thing.
Right.
What a thing!
What a
And
thing.
Shauno would be one of those things that I'd put in that category. All right.
Change the name of the town to Coons.
What are the other categories in life where you would respond with one thing if you were learning it for the first time?
Well, artificial intelligence, but that's for a whole other conversation another day. All right, after being grilled by Jason J. Wilde, and prior to becoming the president and CEO of the Green and Gold, Mark Murphy held which of these positions at Northwestern University? Is it the athletic director, the dean of College of Communications, or the chairman of the Silo Education Program, better known as CSEB?
I believe that would be the athletic director.
That was good, Jesse.
Would have also accepted dean of the College of Communications. Area of expertise. All right, Dave, question
After
two.
today, he could run a master's program in how to do a
he
press
crushed
conference.
it
It was
today.
not a master's
Boy,
class.
It was like he Heisman'd every reporter there. It just kept knocking back everything that you guys threw at him. It was
How
beautiful.
can you say that when we based our poll on two words that he probably shouldn't have said?
Yeah, that's you being
Actively
very
involved.
Actively involved. Thank
Well,
you, Dave. All right.
I'm really glad that Aaron Rodgers turned out to be such a good quarterback, and I'm hopeful that Jordan Love turns out to be a similar quarterback.
That was a good quote, for sure.
And
All
with
right,
that,
Dave,
I'll
question
leave.
two. Here we go. Former Packers tight end and ESPN Milwaukee personality Mark Chmura played college football at which of these universities? Was it Washington State, Boston College, or Baylor?
That would be B, Boston College.
Indeed, it would be.
Perfect week.
Oh, boy's on perfect week going right now. It is.
Don't jinx me.
Perfect
Thank
week.
you, Dave. I agree. Just
Don't
let it
jinx
ride.
me, bro. Don't
Indeed.
jinx me,
Don't
bro. All right, I
diagnose
won't.
me either.
In addition to being the owner of the Milwaukee Brewers, Mark Antanasio also became a minority shareholder in which of these soccer clubs in OT 22? Is it Middlesbrough? Is it Burnley? Or is it Norwich City?
I'm going to go with Middlesbrough.
Yeah. Nice work, Jinxies.
Oh, Jinxie the Toonce's cat. Yeah, Jinxie is Toonce's, one of Toonce's kittens that came out.
And Grouch.
Sired by Kunz. Kootsy Koots.
Unfortunately, Norwich City, the correct answer there.
Okay.
And as predicted, they put the whammy on you. Dave, you still got 2 out of 3 right. 3 out of the 4 entries into Friday's
guys.
drawing. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
It's actually Norwich, not Norwich, because the English language.
I didn't say which.
What a
I
thing.
said Norwich.
I said Norwich. You said Norwich. I read
Yeah, I
it.
said it correctly.
Good way to. Thank you for your service.
The English
Why
language.
are you correcting me
What a
if I
thing.
said
I'm
it
not.
correctly?
I just read it the way I read it. I'm not
Well,
correcting
yeah,
anyone.
but you read it wrong.
And
Yeah, it's
right,
Norwich.
and now everyone's correcting me correctly. You should correct me. So the W is silent?
Like
Yeah,
Shauno.
it's what a deal.
Like
That's
Shauno.
English
Nice.
language.
Well played. All right. That is round 1 of trivia. We had a perfect week
I
going
bet
because we
those
didn't play
boys are
yesterday.
going up. I bet those boys are hitting Superior / Duluth too when they're heading that way. Chippewa, they probably head up to.
I actually
if they're
have
doing
their
Bayfield.
itinerary if you'd like it.
No, I'm okay. I just like to
Okay.
speculate.
What's your favorite northwestern Wisconsin city, Tausch?
Norwich.
Well, how far north? How far north are we going?
Well, you tell us. It's your geography. Bayfield is the one
I
you
told
always
you
talk
guys.
about.
I think that whole concept of the bridge bringing Minnesotans and Wisconsin together from Superior to Duluth is just fantastic. But Bayfield, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm torn. You guys know I love Rhinelander, which is a little bit further east. But I'm going to stick with I'm sticking with Superior, strictly because of its connection and how vibrant their scene is compared to some of the other cities in the Northwest.
We will talk a little more about that portion of the state when I'm going to share, regardless of whether Tausch wants it or not, information about the Tailgate Tour stops. Maybe it'll jog his memory for another good story or two from when he was on the Tailgate Tour. We've got that coming up. And we're going to check in on the poll question because I don't want to say that it's necessarily going to be a canyon, but I think there's a chance that this is going to be very, very, very lopsided. Do you want Mark Murphy, as a Packers fan, to be, quote, actively involved in the trade talks? Because that's what he said today that he is. We'll see where the results are thus far. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
We all experience daily struggles, and with so many concerns to be conscious of, breathing should not be one of them. Mark Tauscher here for Advent, and if you're like me and have had snoring issues, sinus problems, or difficulty breathing, then you'll want to meet the team at Advent. The team of Advent specialists have a few simple steps to help evaluate your individual limitations and get you back to breathing well. Since Advent addressed my snoring and nasal breathing issues, I feel great. I've never slept better. My wife, Sarah, is incredibly appreciative. The team of Advent specialists listened to my struggles, found the best solution for me, and customized it to my needs. Take my word for it and go to adventknows.com to learn more about simple solutions to snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems. And schedule your appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com. An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Jason Fitz.
The Mavericks played Luka Doncic 13 minutes on Friday, sat him on Sunday despite still being in contention for the play-in. They were trying to protect their first-round pick. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a top 10 protected pick from their deal to acquire Kristaps Porzingis from the Knicks. What they really wanted to do was protect that draft pick. So, with the possibility of a play-in on the line, the Mavs laid down and they said, no, we'd rather have a draft pick. I hate everything about it. I hate the concept of it. I hate the way they did it. I hate why they did it. I hate how transparent they were. I don't think it makes any sense in my mind to protect a top 10 draft pick. This is not the NFL draft. Having the 8th overall pick in next year's draft is not suddenly going to make them a championship contender. All they're going to do is get a guy that's probably going to be on the roster for a few years that most people have never even heard of, that might be a building piece, and they're still going to have to go to free agency to get anything around him. This was asinine. This was disrespectful to the league, and I think the league should come down with the thunder of the gods.
Replace your worn-out wiper blades and see the road better with help from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, save $10 on a pair of Trico Force wiper blades. Old Rewards members get 4 times points and receive a $5 reward with purchase. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through June, purchase through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
Is your business looking for localized banking solutions? Fifth Third Bank has been looking forward to the future and helping businesses shape what's next for 165 years. And for the last 14 here in Milwaukee, they offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making capabilities, and extensive experience to help your business succeed. Fifth Third is big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, but also empowered to make local decisions and work from a foundation of strong community connections. Commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
It's Gary Olson here from Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape from the office? Or maybe you want to impress a potential client? Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center offers a top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play courses like St. Andrews, Whistling Straits, and more. Even when it's not perfect golf weather outdoors, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's simulators, entertainment, and their best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer. At just $35 an hour for a bay, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is a perfect weekday getaway. Book your bay today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We're going to play a little Twitter trash or Twitter treasure, presented by WM. But speaking of Twitter, the poll is in the field. Mark Murphy says he has been actively involved in the process as the Packers and Jets negotiate an Aaron Rodgers trade. As a Packers fan, do you think it's good for Murphy to be actively involved in the trade process? Yes or no? 80% of you, no. 20% of you say yes. Interesting responses from some of our loyal fans. I think there's an interesting poll to be had to ask if Aaron Rodgers wasn't one of your options, who has almost as bad of a public perception? Because the responses here about Mark Murphy are not, shall we say, positive. Mr. Gratitude. At this point, I could care less who's involved, but let's just get the trade over with. Okay? I think that's a common feeling. Tom on Twitter. That is one of the biggest reasons why the teams were so average/horrible in the 70s and 80s. Meddling. Please hire football people and let them do their jobs. Packer Outsider, which I don't know if that's a burner account for the Badgers Outsider or not. It is utterly ridiculous that he would be involved. He's been nothing but a nuisance to football ops since he changed the front office structure. One more from Joe Boo.
Gosh, that
Murphy,
laugh is the best.
Murphy should stick to sledding hills. He appointed himself the football king, so he owns all the front office failures which are piling up. His approval rating on these responses, not great.
No, and there's always going to, when you're coming off of a 8-9 season and you decide to trade away your 4-time MVP quarterback. Yeah, but again, as Mark Murphy said, at the end of his deal, that is where he is going to be judged. It's where Goody's going to be judged, and that's where Matt LaFleur is going to be judged. All of this other stuff, while, yeah, you can say, he is not – it's not as bad as what the – in my opinion, what those folks are saying to the Twitter feed. But there are things that have piled up, and the fact that I believe there's more angst up in that building than what people lead on, I don't think LaFleur and Goot are in a great place. I don't know if Mark Murphy is coming in and saying, what was the quote from your guy?
Do you like your job? Because I like mine.
If that really happened, oh my God, that place is in worse shape than I think anyone that just responded thinks. So I don't think it's there. But I can tell you, if Jordan Love struggles early and this team struggles early, you're going to see a lot of finger pointing and a lot of leaking and a lot of, well, I didn't want that. Well, this wasn't it. And you know what that does? You can't give your players excuses. One time in my 11 years, did we as players have excuses for why we stunk? And luckily we didn't stink very often. But it was that year we were 4-12. Well, you didn't re-sign Marco. You didn't bring back Old Boy. You didn't do this. And our season stunk. You make sure, empower your players. Don't be giving them opportunities and excuses for why you're not any good.
All right.
Because it is never a good formula. And you better hope that Jordan Love and this team gets off to a fast start, because if you don't think that veteran players on that team are going to start really looking at, Boy, I'm back. I'm doing this, and I don't know how many years I have left, and this is what we're doing?
Right, because you experienced that.
So while Jordan Love is going to get time to develop and grow, I don't know if I could say the same for the front office in their decision-making if that's the case. So we'll see.
Let's play some Twitter Trash or Twitter Treasure presented by WM.
You only find two things on Twitter: trash
Yes, I love trash.
and treasure. Brought to you by WM, the leading provider of comprehensive waste management services in North America. Learn about career opportunities in Wisconsin by visiting careers.wm.com.
Leading off today and appearing, I think, a couple of weeks in a row now in Twitter Trash or Twitter Treasure, from The Athletic, Matt Schneidman. On Easter Sunday, Brian Gutekunst and Joe Douglas have agreed, ... skip a line, ... that they're not paying Odell late in his career despite Aaron Rodgers wanting him. Of course, this comes after the report that the Ravens were planning on signing Odell Beckham Jr. to $15 million guaranteed, up to $18 million for 1 year to play in Baltimore. Twitter Trash or Twitter Treasure? Tausch from Matt Schneidman.
I think it's treasure. I have said this for a while. I thought Odell Beckham Jr., he's injury prone. He makes dynamic plays, and when he's healthy, he obviously was a huge part of the Rams winning a world championship, even though he got hurt in that game. Big first half, big plays he made, big plays leading up to it, and helped the Rams get over the hump. But his rise to fame was based off of that one great catch with the New York Giants, and he's been a good receiver since. He's aging. He has not played in a year. And if you're going to give him $15 million to be your number one wideout, I think you're going to end up being disappointed.
I agree.
So for the Jets standpoint, I think you have Lazard. You have your young gun that's your number one in Wilson. I think you're going to end up looking back at this and saying, whew, sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't make.
And you're going to have Randall Cobb at some point, presumably. This was treasure. Again, I think we need to be thoughtful of people that are hanging on the trade happening, being very nervous, but this was a very clever play by Matt Schneidman. I did learn from my Tim Boyle breaking news on this show, though, there are people that are very, very invested in this, and they don't want me or others toying with their emotions.
Next up, Jen Latta, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, weekday mornings, 7 to 9 a.m. on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Jen tweeting last week, going on vacation is fun for everyone, not named Mom. Twitter Trash or Twitter Treasure, Tausch?
Yeah, I'll say treasure. And just the amount of research old girl did for Paris when we went. We have a couple other trips planned. I just show up. Now, I try not to complain, and I'm pretty good. We're going to go do our thing. I said, she'll say, oh, you want to do this? And obviously going to the ballet was not something I wanted to do, but I knew some other people did, and I was a complete joy. I was a complete joy at the ballet. The fact that it was only an hour and 10, fantastic. I couldn't believe it. I'm still dumbfounded that they raised that curtain and we're like, what? No halftime? Oh, my God, this is fantastic. But, yes, the moms, and again, I don't want to gender cast or any of this other stuff, but in our house, and it sounds like in Jen's, Mom takes care of a lot of the heavy lifting. Old girl does all the heavy lifting, and then we count on her to deliver, and she does. So tip of the cap, but, yeah, she also gets a lot of rewards, too. I think all the pictures that she takes and able to look at the pictures. So it's a risk and reward, so it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, but she has to do the work of taking the pictures and framing them up. It's not like you're out there, Kenny Kodak.
Yeah.
Listen, we take the pictures. We don't like it all the time, but we do it. And she enjoys and appreciates that. Thank you for your service.
Treasure for sure. Next.
Last one up. Look at this. So Justin Garcia
JG
shares a tweet promoting that he's got a special show coming up this Wednesday previewing the Bucks playoff run on 620 WTMJ, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, and 101.7 The Truth. Jason Wilde responds to Justin Garcia. We've learned nothing from when we had Kelly Call of CBS on the show. Jason's tweet at Justin Garcia and at all these different radio stations. What about tonight? Any programming for me to listen to on our drive back to Green Bay? Buck's house, perhaps? House emoji. Twitter trash
a GIF
or Twitter treasure.
Of Giannis bursting through a wall, too.
It doesn't matter. You just asked, when's your next show? It's Murder, She Wrote all over again. Tausch, Twitter trash, or Twitter treasure from Jason?
It is. It's Jason being lazy in the fact that he can't just go look at the programming. He has the emails. So if he really wanted to, he don't even have to Google. He could just click on the email for WTMJ or The Truth and just say, oh, that's the scheduling. But I am going to surprise you all. And I'm going to say this is treasure. Because Justin, who is a fantastic friend to the show and a Bucks expert, he is looking to get people to listen to his show. Jason has a great following. Jason has shown that he listens to his show. He even invents and makes up shows that he thinks Justin does. So he is promoting this show while also showing, his own laziness. I think Jason, as this is a treasure because he is promoting and trying to help JG grow his audience for his show. So kudos to you, Jason Wilde. This is treasure.
Are you saying this is the kindest form of laziness that you could one could exhibit?
I would say it's laziness done good, is how I would put it. LDG. It's an LDGer.
You're welcome for my service. If you joined us late and you didn't get to hear Mark Murphy's comments on the departure of the tailgate tour bus, you're going to hear them coming up to kick off the 11 o'clock hour, which begins in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
This Bucks team is something special. There's unbelievable, once-in-a-lifetime freakish talent like you've never seen before. The blocks, the dunks, the next-level energy, and a hungry core that's running the court, dropping shots, and posting stat after stat after stat. The playoffs presented by BMO are here. Fear the deer. Keep up with all the postseason action at bucks.com/playoffs. That's bucks.com/playoffs.
That poor shotgun of yours. It only sees the light of day during a hunting trip or two each year. Don't you think that bad boy deserves to be fired year-round?
Bring it to Waukesha Gun Club, one of Wisconsin's largest shotgun-only clubs.
Their Sporting Clay League begins April 29th with trap leagues on May 13th.
Form a team with other friends of neglected shotguns or join a team of your own.
Waukesha Gun Club has over 98 acres and is the perfect place for business or family fun outings.
Learn more at waukeshagunclub.org.
Mark Tausch here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, are you ready for a new shower? If you are, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for over 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
I lived alone and was having problems with my landlord. He's a creep. One night I'm watching TV and I hear my landlord letting himself in. Hey, get out. You can't keep coming in.
I'm just here to fix your fridge and spend some time together.
Get out. I'm reporting you.
Don't make a federal case of it.
A federal case? Sexual harassment in housing is against federal law. If you are harassed, file a complaint with HUD. Go to HUD.gov/fair housing. If you fear for your safety, call 911. Fair housing. The law is on your side. A message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. And it begins where we began, well, once I joined the show when I got back from Lambeau Field. And that is with our exchange with Mark Murphy this morning as the Packers tailgate tour bus prepared to depart for the northwestern portion of our fair state. Tausch, he knew the questions were coming. He was prepared for them. He didn't answer some of them, but some of them he did. And a couple of interesting things from the Packers president and CEO. Here is our exchange. I think it's just Rob Domofsky and I in the couple of questions that are in this portion of the conversation. Talking with Mark Murphy outside of Lambeau Field this morning.
Mark, when I think back to 2008, I remember going to the Boys and Girls Club and Mike McCarthy being asked a question by a little boy and Mike thinking we planted the question. Are you expecting a lot of questions about this during this tour, and how do you plan on handling those?
I do anticipate quite a few questions, and I anticipate saying that there was no update. It is interesting that 15 years ago we were in a similar situation. Yeah.
When you think back to that,
by the way, was my very first tailgate tour.
I'm aware. When you think back to that, obviously the fan base was pretty well divided. Do you get the sense that maybe this time around the organization has more support, and do you think you'll be able to get a feel for that during this tour?
I'm not going to comment on that. No.
Do you need a deal to get done before the draft, or are you guys okay going into the summer if that's what it takes?
No, again, that's something Brian is working on, and I've been actively involved, and there's really nothing more to say.
When we talk about 15 years, when we talk.
Aaron. He's got to pay attention, Aaron. We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
Well, drive carefully. When you think about 15 years later, what lessons did you take from that experience on your first tailgate tour and your first year in charge that you can apply now as you're dealing with this?
Well, I'm really glad that Aaron Rodgers turned out to be such a good quarterback, and I'm hopeful that Jordan Love turns out to be a similar quarterback. And with that, I'll leave.
And with that, I'll leave. Are you a good side-eye person? Are you good at giving the side-eye? I gave Aaron Popke the side-eye for that. I understand you want to get him on the bus. I was in the middle of speaking when you shouted last question, so I did give him a little bit of the side-eye for that. But a great answer from Mark Murphy, most importantly. Not about the question, about the answer. And that answer is the most truthful and revelatory thing that he said.
Yeah,
it's all about whether Jordan Love's good or not. Just like Aaron Rodgers.
And I think everybody understands that. And what you try to do, if you're Mark or if you're Brian or whatever, say Matt has had in this, which it doesn't feel like is a ton.
No.
You try to get as much information, and then you try and make the best decision that's going to help your franchise moving forward. And I think when you combine all the Jordan Love development and the Aaron Rodgers, I guess if you want to say backslide or his attitude and the way the organization as a whole feels about him, both personally and playing, they have made this decision. And in a billion-dollar industry, it doesn't get any bigger decision-wise than what they've done. They know
You're right.
the magnitude of what they're doing. And you have to have the courage of your convictions to do it. And it takes monster stones to go ahead and do. But I would say in this case, it makes it easier when you do have the support of your fan base. But you know what? At fan base, while loyal to a T, they're always going to be Green Bay Packer fans. They're not always going to be Brian Gutekunst and Mark Murphy fans. Plenty of people, as we can tell with just the reactions that you've drawn, aren't Mark Murphy fans. There's been plenty. I've taken a lot of heat for my Goot standum. A lot of people are not Goot stands. They've made tough decisions. They're big boys. If their decision's wrong, they will be fired. That's the beauty of the NFL, in my opinion. It's that you don't get a bunch of mulligans. You have a chance. You're hitting into 13 at Augusta. You have 220 out. You have to make the decision. Do I lay up, play it safe, and just go for par, or are we going for it? This was the safe play, was to continue to ride Aaron Rodgers. While I'm golfing, I love hitting hybrids. I want to rip something 2 1/4 and be putting for eagle. You know what happens a lot of times when I do that? Shank it over left. Put it, if I'm playing my course, I put it over onto the railroad tracks. Or I'll hit it onto the road. And then you have to regroup. These guys have decided they're going for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a creek. There's crap on the back. You got to hit a really good shot. Jordan Love needs to be good. And if he's not, you're going to take a drop. You're going to be hitting another tough shot. And if you are sitting in that position, the pressure gets ratcheted up. That's what Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst have decided to do, and I applaud them for doing it if that's their beliefs. Now, I'll be the first one to say, especially if Aaron Rodgers is awesome with the Jets and Jordan's not, you're wrong. Those are the breaks, and that's why they're in those positions, because they know that what Mark Murphy said at the end of that quote, everything else, Craig Carton's commentary, Mark Murphy at WIA, all of the stuff we've been talking about, all of it is moot. It all depends on Jordan Love. That's it, as a Packer fan.
So with your golf analogy there, which, as is often the case, very good and way better than your puns this morning, they're not in a position. Is it Tin Cup with Kevin Costner, Roy McAvoy? Where he keeps hitting the shots over and over and over again.
Yeah.
They're not going to get that many shots.
No, they get to dump 2 in the water, and then it's, all right, deuces B. We're getting some new clubs, and we're going to get a new golfer. And you know what? We might even get a new course.
Right. Interesting, though, that when asked if there were any, again, I think the answer is interesting in and of itself, Tausch, but especially when you consider what was asked. Because I asked him if there were any lessons that he could take from 2008 that were applicable now. And that's why I think that answer is so interesting, because I think he also knows how close you guys were to it going sideways on him then, right? Aaron Rodgers most likely turns out to be good regardless, okay? But you guys sneak into the playoffs in the last 2 weeks, and then you go win a chip. Brett Favre is 1 interception away, and a boneheaded one at that, from being in the Super Bowl. There's a chance that Aaron Rodgers never wins the Super Bowl, and Brett wins the first one that Minnesota's ever gotten. They were fortunate, and they were right about Aaron Rodgers. We'll see if they're right about Jordan Love. But if Aaron Rodgers goes and wins a Super Bowl and Jordan Love is not anything close to Aaron Rodgers, history will not be kind to them. And the folks that have been very negative about Aaron Rodgers, some may have to come around a little bit and say, you know what, maybe I was a little harsh on him just because he's a weirdo hippie guy that I don't really like.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, though, Aaron Rodgers could go and have great success with the New York Jets. But if Jordan Love is your guy for the next 10 years and you're winning divisions and what Aaron basically has done here,
yeah.
While it will still be questioned if Jordan Love is really good, Aaron will be irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
Again, I am not putting the pressure on Jordan Love because I think he has the best scenario for a first-time starting quarterback that you could ever ask for. But that will flip quickly. And he doesn't need to be all-world. He just needs to continue to show that he is a legit NFL QB. And what would be worrisome if I was Green Bay is that he is progressing, but we don't know. We don't have the same. If you ask those guys if they have the same amount of confidence in Jordan Love in 2023 that they had in Aaron Rodgers in 2008, if they're being truthful, they'll tell you no.
Agreed.
They have hope, and they believe that Jordan Love's going to be good, but they have not seen the same amount of wowness that I've told you about that we saw 06-07 from Aaron Rodgers. And even though he played well in that Philly game, Aaron Rodgers got to play in a big boy game on a Thursday night with Bryant Gumbel calling the game on NFL Network back at the old Dallas Stadium.
2-10-1 teams.
He moved the needle that night that they felt great about. I can't imagine that it was the case because when you heard Matt LaFleur talk after the season, even after going 8-9, he emphatically told you he wanted Aaron Rodgers back. That tells you a lot because I don't feel like that was as emphatic. There was talk of Aaron Rodgers replacing Brett Favre in the NFC Championship game. There wasn't any talk about Jordan Love replacing Aaron Rodgers in the Detroit Lion game. Not that I've heard.
Sound graph. That was really good. We need to play round 2 of trivia because we didn't play yesterday. Are you walking like a robot? Is that what that is, Jesse?
Yeah,
I know we're not on video yet, but what was that?
When I hear Tausch say sound graph, it's like, it's a buzzword.
It was actually me that said that, but be that as it may. What's round 2 of trivia about?
Well, since round 1 was question marks about people named Mark, in honor of Mark Murphy talking with you earlier today, Jason Wilde, category number 2, don't go Jason Waterfalls.
You're really
I love
good
Oasis.
at these things.
Pretty good.
I love Oasis. Great band.
Questions about Mark earlier for Double Trivia Day. It's questions about
Just wait
people
a second.
named
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Is Left Eye Lopes? That's not Oasis, right?
Yeah. Thank you for correcting yourself. Yes. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Yeah. TLC was the name of that group.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Lisa Left Eye Lopes. That's clever. It really is. Kudos to you.
It's good.
We took caller 5 last time. Take caller 5 again. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 5 right now to play round 2 of Wilde Tausch Trivia, which we will play next. It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
Every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising.
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's Jeff Levering for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Look at that effortless horizontal window slide, letting in lots of light. And that roll, it's a double play. Like magic, the screen disappears when the window is closed. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door, featuring the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Order by April 30th and get 0% for 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6-pack 0.5-liter bottles or 6-pack 7.5-ounce mini cans, Coke products 4 for $17. 8 to 10-ounce pasta or 7 to 15-ounce sauce, selected varieties, Rana pasta or sauce, 2 for $8. 4.5-ounce package, selected varieties, Sargento balanced breaks, 2 for $6. 8-count package, selected varieties, Jimmy Dean breakfast entrees, $9.99.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
Even when you think you know what's going on.
Is that like a button, like a preset that just happens when you hit a certain age and all of a sudden you start making unnecessary noises?
You can never be too sure.
Yeah, I make them all the time. Well, like my wife, I have big lungs.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Takes time to get them filled with air.
How do you know your wife has big lungs?
Take a look.
Morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We believe the best things take time. You have your obsessions. Ours is crafting the best slow-smoked barbecue in the state, crafted only from humanely raised meats, dry rub, slowly smoked, and sauced by you. Add Smoke Shack to the top of your list the next time your hunger is trying to throw you off your game. Dine in, order takeout, or consider Smoke Shack to do the cooking for your next backyard barbecue celebration. Check us out in the historic 3rd Ward on Milwaukee Street or at smokeshack.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you Mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
God, you gotta love Oasis. Wonderwall.
Yeah,
Not Waterfall.
Yeah, I screwed that one up.
It's a classic. Either way, time now for trivia. Let's welcome in contestant number 2 now that our perfect week is through. Let's talk to Tony in Germantown. Tony, good morning.
Tony!
How are you? Tone!
What's happening, guys? How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Enjoying this beautiful weather.
Beautiful day to listen to Wilde Tausch.
Glorious.
Amen.
Should be golfing.
Yeah, you golfing this week, Tausch?
Yeah, I am going to get out and play once this week, yeah.
Oh, you guys
me
both
too,
going
Tony.
Thursday? Where are you guys
we're
playing?
both going Thursday.
Gretzka?
We'll probably Loch LaBelle is where I'll meet Tony and bring Jason down. See if Jason can break that 200.
Yeah, got to get swinging.
Wow.
All right, Tony. We asked Mark questions Was that in reference to Mark Tauscher or Mark Murphy? I'm second guessing.
Murphy, but it worked out.
Jason and Mark on this program.
Check a couple of boxes. Yeah.
Now, don't go Jason Waterfalls. Questions about people named Jason. Jason figured it out? So here's question 1. Tony.
All right.
Jason Vrabel is the wide receivers coach and passing game coordinator for which of these football teams? The Tennessee Titans, the Green Bay Packers, or the Norwich City FC?
The Tennessee Titans.
Oh, no!
It's tricky because Vrabel, I bet he thought Mike Vrabel, head coach for Tennessee. You tricked him. Jesse, you tricked him.
That's exactly what I thought.
Oh, no!
I know Tony's mind. I know how Tony works. All right, Tony, you're going to bounce back. Well, you're going to bounce back right here. Actor Jason Momoa has appeared in several movies portraying which superhero in the DC cinematic universe? Is it Batman, Aquaman, or Flash?
It is Aquaman.
We're back on track.
I would have had no clue on that. None.
Never saw those movies, though.
I didn't realize this till just now. Jason Momoa could play Tausch in the Wilde Tausch movie.
Oh.
He would not wear a swim shirt. He is ripped.
Who, Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was thinking it was going to be some heavy-set fella.
No.
Jesse.
Be very flattering.
All right, I'm good. I don't know who Jason Momoa is, but if he's that ripped, I'm on board with him playing.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Aquaman movie. I still can't believe there was an Aquaman movie
from,
with Vinny Chase. That was supposed to be a gag. Like, who would make a movie where you have to do it all underwater? And obviously they managed to pull it off, and now there's a sequel that's in production. All right, Tony, here is Jason question number 3. Which of these actors portrays the main character in the hit Apple TV show Ted Lasso? Is it Jason Segel, Jason Bateman, or Jason Sudeikis?
It is Jason Sudeikis.
A very rare first question wrong, second and third question right. 2 out of 3 for Tony in Germantown. Doesn't happen often.
Not too bad.
No.
I almost wonder if we shouldn't, and I know we're not going to do this, but I think we should revamp and get question 1 is worth 1 point, question 2 is worth 2 entries, and question 3 is worth 3 entries.
You know, I got to tell you.
For a superfluous week, we superfluous it. And
I got to tell you. Again, I've said this many times on this program. You start to talk, and I think, oh, God. And then by the end, I think, in the words of Jerry Seinfeld, I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's a great idea. I love
crank
this
up
idea.
question 3.
Love it.
Crank up question 3, make it really difficult. Maybe even don't give an option. Make them guess without having...
Oh, boy.
So are you saying, like, you answer all 3 questions still, or when the caller calls in, they get to choose, do you want question 1 for 1 entry, question 2 for 2 entries, or question 3 for 3 entries?
Well,
and they can play hardball or easy peasy.
I think we would give a potential of 7 entries if you run the table.
It's a lot of poker chips.
A lot of extra stuff for Jesse, which I think
everyone
that calls in.
That's also a bonus.
I think everyone that calls in would be like, yeah, if it puts more on Jesse's plate, let's do it.
Yeah.
So,
well, if those rules were in place, Tony, you would have garnered 5 points today out of a possible 6. Unfortunately, those rules are not in place. You've got 2 entries. You got 2 right out of 3. You got 3 of the possible 4 entries. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate your loyalty to the show, man.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
You're an idea guy.
Tony's got a great disposition.
He does. You would enjoy golfing with him, I think. I don't know if he's any good.
I think I would. Yeah, I have no idea. It doesn't matter. It's about the company that you keep.
So if I'm a bad golfer and you have to play with me, that's miserable
I ain't gonna lie to you. I got a lot of Brooks Koepka in me, too. I am not interested in playing a 6-hour round. I'd rather you hack it around and just say, all right, and don't play slow golf. Just don't. If you stink and you got more than a triple, just pick up and let's move to the next hole. I'm not interested in you digging through the woods and trying to find a ball, and then you try to hit some great chip shot out of the woods.
So how are you going to go with me when you see if I can crack 200? That's going to take forever.
No, we're going to video it, and it's going to be great content. No, I might just put Jesse behind us. I'll bring 3 buddies. We'll play in front, and then we'll sit in the back and watch, and I'll keep getting updates from Jesse on how you're shooting. Because, yeah, you drive me nuts.
Yes, I'm aware.
Because you'd be methodical. You'd be lining up a putt for an 18, and you'd probably look at it from 15 different angles, get your little protractor out. Oh, this grid's got to break 15 inches to the left. And da, da, da. So, yeah, I don't think I can play it.
Is that how I sound? No. I didn't know that's how I sounded. All right. That's it for trivia.
Chef Ed says Kevin James should play Tausch in a movie, so... Far cry from Jason Momoa.
That's more fitting. Yeah,
no.
As much as I want to say,
I can see it. And let's be honest, Jason Momoa wearing a swim shirt. I mean, he is.
It's Aquaman.
Well, I mean, listen. Some of us wear swim shirts for different reasons, but we all want to be safe from a skin standpoint, right? We don't want to get burned.
Yeah. No doubt.
All that. That's the majority of reasons why heavier set people wear swim shirts.
Protect the skin, sure.
That's the main, you want to make sure you're protected.
Would you rather see Jason Momoa play Tausch or Tausch play Aquaman?
Can we doctor up this photo?
Let me tell you a little
Tausch
something.
And Amber Heard
of all the superheroes to play, Aquaman would need to have a bank of a pool within like 15 feet for Aquaman to feel good. You throw old T out in the middle of the ocean, that movie ain't lasting long. It's going to be a quick short. That'll be a 1.5, 2-minute movie where old Aquaman ain't making it unless he's got that bank. Good run for Aquaman.
Oh, my cheeks hurt. Whoa, Nelly.
Halloween costumes for the Tauschers this year. We got it.
Oh, that would be great.
I think Old T might be staying back to hand out candy. Old T ain't going as Aquaman, I can tell you.
Candyman instead of Aquaman. Yes, indeed. Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Chevy truck season is the perfect time to step up with strength and style in a new Silverado. Whether it's your first Silverado or your next one, with the choice of 9 trims and 4 powertrains, you'll find a mix of power, trailering, and off-road capability that's right for you. Don't miss Chevy truck season with exciting offers available right now. And kickstart your next adventure in the legendary Silverado. See your local Chevy dealer and visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
There's only one place in Milwaukee where every day of the year, dreams and reality get together for a great time. Where you can walk in a player and walk out a winner. That place, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. With fantastic dining, gaming, sports betting, a luxurious hotel, and endless ways to win, the excitement never stops. The only thing missing is you. Your win is waiting, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Visit our website to learn more. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group, with over 40 years of experience saving businesses money. Another year has come and gone. How did yours go? Do you have more money in the bank than last January? Do you just have a job, or do you run a business? 85% of business owners just have a job. Our years of experience and proven strategies help you run your business profitably and get it ready to sell when you are ready. That's the end game, right? We help you look at the numbers and understand what they mean. Just ask Jason, Michelle, or Peter, who sold their businesses this year for a nice price. Do you want to get a decent salary, pay what you owe, and make a profit too? Let us help you improve your business so you can work less and make more. Sounds pretty good, right? To get started on the road to making more money and having less stress, book a call or meeting at nealgroup.net right now. That's nealgroup.net. The first meeting is free to see if we can help. Again, nealgroup.net.
Looking for your next night out? Q Club of Wisconsin is the hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what you got going on over there, buddy?
Hey, Gary, there's so much going on here. We've got all your favorite teams on our TVs, more pool tables than you know what to do with, and live local bands playing on Saturdays. Plus, we got bocce leagues all summer long that we're signing teams up for right now. And, of course, a fish fry piled high on Wednesdays and Fridays.
And stop by for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. Check out QClubOfWisconsin.com.
Attention, attention. More superheroes are needed. Current Electric is growing and hiring service and commercial electricians, solar panel installers, and customer service representatives. Current Electric offers 5-star tech experience with training, coaching, and support, along with competitive pay and benefits. Apply at currentelectricco.com/careers. That's currentelectricco.com/careers. Current Electric has been serving Milwaukee since 1983 and is an equal opportunity employer.
This Bucks team is something special. There's unbelievable once-in-a-lifetime freakish talent like you've never seen before. The blocks, the dunks, the next-level energy, and a hungry core that's running the court, dropping shots, and posting stat after stat after stat. All this action will have you on your feet cheering Fear the Deer. The playoffs presented by BMO are here. Get your single-game tickets now at bucks.com/playoffs.
Cedar Ridge Distillery continues to make a home right here in Wisconsin. The original 86 bourbon is the best-selling bourbon in Iowa for 3 straight years, and you have the opportunity to get that here in Wisconsin. Also, the quintessential, the best American single malt, voted by John Barleycorn Awards, and Cedar Ridge manages every step of the production from grain to glass. Make sure you pick up the Scalzo and Bruss private barrel of bourbon and rye whiskeys, available at Discount Liquor at 51st in Oklahoma or Barstow in Maine in downtown Waukesha.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
You think you're moving on, but no one's gonna feel like thought it would be easy to forget me. Let go of the memories.
I still can't get over how this song has been in our rotation for a long time, and it really is the perfect Aaron Rodgers theme song for everything we've endured over the last several months. When you do the montage when he finally is traded, this is the song, Jesse. It's really perfect.
Katy Perry of American Idol fame.
Which I heard has dropped off some, in some people's opinions. I've also heard that said about Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde Tausch.
Got a little bit to catch up on here since we didn't have Whoa Nelly yesterday. It's like double trivia day. So last night, Beck and I sat down to watch a movie, and I have a lot more patience for getting into a movie than she does. So from the time that we turned it on, we got about 5-10 minutes in, and she's like, nah, I'm done with this one. Like, this is pretty boring. I'm like, it's not boring, it's exposition. And then we got 15 minutes, and she goes, this movie isn't doing it for me. I said, well, just give it a few more minutes. And we ended up watching the whole thing, and she was like mad at me all night that we ended up sitting through 2 hours of a movie. How long do you give a movie that you're watching at home before you punt on it?
Did you name the movie, or did I miss that?
I did not. It was the horror movie Nope. Jordan Peele creation. Came out a year or two ago. And I'd seen great reviews of it.
Does she like horror movies?
I mean, we'll watch them now. It's not like we purposely seek them out all the time.
It's a simple question. Yes or no? Does she like
Yes. A good one, yes. Yeah.
Okay. She agreed to go see this movie with you, right?
Well, we didn't go see it. It was on Amazon Prime. So
it's at your house.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, if you go see a movie, I think you're gonna probably sit through the whole thing.
No, you're going in and you're going to watch it.
Right. But if you're at home,
like,
how
I
long
want to
you
go
giving
see
it?
Air. Well, the question I have now is, because, yeah, it's an interesting question. She can get up and leave anytime. You guys got another room now that you got your palatial estate with Irick and Bruner and the whole team hooked you
We're
up.
on him in a minute.
Kudos to your squad. She can leave. She can tell you, Jesse, get out of here, use your baby phone and go watch this horror movie. But you go to the theater, you're going to finish it. Anything at home, fall asleep. You can just get up and say, this is junk, I'm not watching it. I don't see the problem here.
So you're saying just figure it out,
Just leave.
sit through or get up and leave on your own? And like,
No, you don't sit. You don't want to sit through it, don't sit through it. Now, if you just are so in love that you have to be cuddling and like just all that good stuff, and you just live with it, you move on. But if you're not interested in the other person next to you or the movie, just get up and go.
You mentioned Air.
Yeah, it's going to be a.
I would like
it's going
to
to
see
be a pass
that.
till, but at the theater or
Well,
at home.
So I've been having a discussion with my buddy Travis, who I know you don't think I have friends, but I do. But here is
Tier 1 Travis.
Tier 1 Travis. He's
I
got
bet
a
he's not a
T-shirt
Tier 1
company.
I bet he's not tier 1.
I don't tier my
I bet he's
friends.
You kind of do, though. Jesse's right. Everybody does. You just don't admit it. He's like a tier 3 guy, more of an acquaintance.
Where do you think you are?
I'm guessing. I don't know. I would think that I'm probably.
He'll always be my Aquaman.
Tier 1 Tausch.
I would think I'm probably a tier 2 guy for you. Would be where I'd be.
We're getting bogged down in rankings now, which I didn't want to do because I'm struggling with the fact that you could be proven right if I don't put forth the effort. Travis really wants to see Air. So do I. But I really, really want to see it in my living room and not have to go to a theater. And so he wants to go, and he's like trying to get a day on the calendar this week for him and I to go. Now, I don't know the last time I went to the movies with a friend that I wasn't like taking the girls to see a Disney movie or something. And I haven't committed.
I think it'd be really good for you to get out and do something with somebody outside of your
You should
kids.
do it.
Do we share a thing of popcorn, or is that weird?
No, you get your own popcorn. You get your own soda.
No, get the
and it'd
big
be
tub.
prob-
It's such a much better deal. You get the big tub, and then
Exactly.
you can get a little cup and scoop some out for yourself. Put it
Yes, I'm
over.
going to bring a cup with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
A scoopy cup.
I think it'd be really good for you to go do something with somebody outside of your family. I do.
So
I think it'd be healthy.
My other question is for
Golf.
this specific film.
Yep.
This film, Sydney wants to see it too. Now, it's rated R. It's language only, it would appear. That is an issue. She's 12. Okay to take Sydney if I don't go with Travis? Or am I venturing into an area as a parent that I shouldn't be? She watched The Last Dance. She heard those words. She hears Paula use those words all the time. Me, very rarely, unless I'm stealing gasoline. Okay for me to take her? Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is, but so you're going to blow off your tier 7 buddy, is what you're telling me.
I didn't say that. I'm just asking if she wants to go.
I know what you're saying.
She wants to go. So maybe I'll see it twice. It's that good.
Only need one tub of popcorn if you take your kid.
Our tennis guru, TC, I call him, not Tony Cartagena, a different TC, just text me with big thumbs up for Air.
I've heard that
Big
too.
thumbs up.
I've heard it's good.
I'm still going to wait till it's probably Netflix or I don't understand this whole.
It's an Amazon movie. It's made by Amazon.
No, but so it'll be on Amazon Prime when? In 2 weeks? Like, how do they determine now what they
know
do?
The answer to that. It's a new world.
Well, who does? So they want to suckle you and get you some cash at the theater, and then they also want to get you to sign up for a Prime and do that. But don't they want all of their stuff to go to Prime right away? Like, how does that work with the theater? I don't fully understand.
You make the most money in the theater.
All right. Hey, all right. Stop for a second.
I don't know if that's true.
I know Greg Marcus. I mean, we're not close, but I know him. He knows me. He's a great guy.
What tier?
Yeah, what tier?
What tier?
Well, he would be in my tier 1 of people who own companies that have movie theaters, for sure. I think we should ask him. I think he'd be really insightful on this. He could also tell me how I'm an idiot and I should go see this in the theater. It's worth it, the experience.
It's always, but again, I don't know if with how that's played out. The theater is more for the special effects.
Top Gun Maverick.
Yes. Yes. But there's still something special about going to a theater. There's just
Jurassic Park.
There's special chairs, and you get people bringing you food and drinks, and it's just the circumstances are much better than what they used to be, and they have to because that's what the audience is forcing you to do. So I might go see Air. The problem is it's so nice out now. You're not going to go waste your time.
Yeah, you don't want to go to a movie this week.
No, I'm not going to a theater, but it's supposed to. I'm almost kind of rooting for it to be rainy so I can go see it, but when is Amazon Prime firing it out? Because we're paying for Amazon Prime. I want to watch it here. It's a tough call. It is.
Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly.
So we did go to the Brewers game Friday night. Nice win for the crew in that game against the Cardinals. Stacy Bruner's seats behind the dugout. Fantastic. Appreciated him hooking us up with those. We did know a bunch of people that were at the game on Friday night, and so we got up several times to go say hi to people. And I felt like we didn't sit in the seats as long as we should have. We were probably out of the seats, and with pitch clock and everything going on, that game zooming by.
Yeah.
It was probably 3.5 innings that we weren't in the seats. We were up on the concourse talking to people, catching up. How long should you sit in your seats? If you're in, let's say you're in the ballpark for all 9 innings, how long should you sit in your seats?
Especially if someone gave you the tickets for free.
Yeah, got that going for us, yeah.
Well, nobody cares. Like, Stacy Bruner doesn't care how long you sit
I'm
in
not
seats.
saying Stacy Bruner
I think
cares.
he should.
I'm saying what's your principle? If the Tauschers are at a...
Well, you're there to watch the game. Sit down and watch the game. Where else are you going to go? Stand at the concourse? Light up a heater? Like, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, first...
Where are you spending your time if you're not sitting in your seats watching the game?
It was National Beer Day, so we had to go get a couple of Coors Lights up at the concession stand. We knew Becca had an old coworker who was up on the second level.
Did they not have folks coming through? So you don't they have people coming through? You can just say, hey, popcorn here, pizza, Coors Light here. They don't have that anymore?
Not as many, no. It's less frequent, especially when the deal was up at 7:30, so you had to...
Outside of
restrooms...
Right, outside of restrooms and going to get a BOGO, buy one, get one beer, what else are you doing? Like, sit down and watch the game. Otherwise...
I'm trying to tell you, Aquaman. We had Becca's old coworker was up in the second level, so we went and saw him. Becca's brother was there sitting on the first level across from us, so he came and we caught up with him for a bit. It was just a coincidence. We knew a few people at the game, so we went up, met them as we were getting beers, ended up talking for an inning. And again, game's faster now. So it's grooving by. Suddenly you're standing up there and you're like, oh, man, Brewers were just bad and now they're up again. We just missed an inning. And then you got to go back to – but I feel like there's an obligation. You got to be in the seats for like 6 of the 7 of the innings.
What, do you think Stacy Bruner's got like a camera on his seats and he's like, Jesse Nelson's not
He's watching the game on TV.
Hey, they're not I ain't giving him any more tickets. To heck with Jesse. Get his tickets from Irick instead of from me. Whoa, Nelly!
Never mind.
I would just like to add this. As folks know, Sydney and I went to the Bucks game on Friday night, and there are a lot of people there's like various like kind of bar-style places and whatever else.
Pub tables. You got your pub tables.
So there are people doing a lot of it. There's a dance party in one section for like kids and stuff in the concourse. Sydney was very interested in the game. In fact, we waited too long to go get ice cream in the fourth quarter, and all the places were closed with like 7 minutes left in the game. So we learned our lesson. Sometimes you got to leave your seat for a little while, like Jesse did to talk to all of his friends, Tier 1 or otherwise. All right, we're going to wrap things up with this poll question because the yes crowd of people who want Mark Murphy to be actively involved in the trade process has grown since the last time we checked in on the poll question. We'll do that to wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
They talk about everything, but sports always comes first.
Abuse toward the Packers and the Jets needs to wait if they can get the Rodgers deal agreed to by the end of the draft. I'm giving them that time.
It's too late then. I'm saying they're screwing up right now by not doing it.
Man, it's April. Do you know when the first game is?
Because your assumption is that the game is seasonal. The game is year-round now. It's not seasonal anymore. There's work to be done already.
Spend your afternoons with Homer and Tony, weekdays 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Tony Smith. The professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, you need to be living life to the fullest and doing the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Don't wait. 414-285-3474.
At least twice as big
as the one you gave her when you got engaged.
That's the definition of a big anniversary diamond.
Kessler's has lots of ways for you to go twice as big.
We have twice as big diamonds from diamond mines.
These diamonds come from the fiery heart of Mother Earth. And the ones that exist in the world today are all there will ever be.
Kessler's also has twice as big created diamonds.
These diamonds come from the fiery heart of a ball of lightning, a miniature star, inside a plasma chamber. It's a wonder to behold.
Kessler's also has twice as big flickering firelight diamonds.
These natural diamonds flicker with all the warm colors of firelight instead of the cold colors of ice. Flickering firelight diamonds are another wonder to behold.
And all of these twice as big diamonds are for her.
The best wonder to behold of all. Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, go to Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
It's about that time of year when we realize we took a little too much time off our golf game. Oops.
Hey! 4! Mike, anyone who's ever golfed with you knows that swing is unfixable. But hey, we can fix windows.
Oh, and while we're at it, maybe we can build out a golf simulator in your rec room so you don't have that problem again next spring.
It's Mike and Michelle from PCI. Kitchens, baths, additions, and more. Visit PCI today. Online at professionalconstructioninc.com.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Things go naturally. Just say the word
Well, I'm really glad that Aaron Rodgers turned out to be such a good quarterback, and I'm hopeful that Jordan Love turns out to be a similar quarterback. And with that, I'll leave.
That is Mark Murphy speaking with us before the departure of the tailgate tour bus from Lambeau Field. That is in response to my question on if there are any lessons he gleaned from 2008 that are applicable 15 years later as the Packers once again transition from a Hall of Fame quarterback, this time from Aaron Rodgers, to Jordan Love. The poll question. Mark Murphy says he has been actively involved in the process as the Packers and Jets negotiate an Aaron Rodgers trade. As a Packers fan, do you think it's good for Murphy to be actively involved in the trade process? We have crossed the 1,000 vote Rubicon. 76% of you say no, 24% of you, up from 20%, say yes. Tausch, what would the reason that it would be good for Mark Murphy to be involved? What would be the reason someone would say that? I'd be curious.
Well, I think because he played a bunch of football. He was an NFLPA rep, let's just go back to when you asked him that question, what the hell makes you think you're a viable option to do this?
Yes.
Use his own words. That's why people would support that. So, and Mark Murphy could easily tell you his resume, which, by the way, business-wise has been monstrous. He has built, and you could say, well, Aaron Rodgers is a big part of that. Yes, he
winning.
was.
Mm-hmm.
And for as much as that operation was bungled with the Rodgers-Favre transition, they got it right. And you know what? Whomever takes over for Mark, you know how they're going to be judged? They will have the fortune of having a couple of years to see where Jordan Love's at, not like Mark had when it was thrown upon him pretty quickly in his tenure to see where Jordan's at. But getting that right is where your legacy is going to be built on.
And I do give him credit because that answer was the correct answer. I would like to have known some of the other lessons that he learned because I would hope that there's not – the only lesson isn't, well, you better hope the next quarterback's good.
What did you hope he was going to say? What did you hope for from him?
I was hoping maybe he'd say something to the effect of, well, you have to be smart about what you say. And also, don't try to bribe the guy to stay retired.
Just imagine the soundtrack of laughs he'd have had if he would have said that. You all would have laughed like loud.
Yeah, it would have been a great
for reals.
It would have been like a great self-deprecating joke, right?
Yeah. It would have been a lot of that from Wilde and Domofsky and the rest of the B team. Oh, you rascal. You got us good on that one, Mark. That would have been good.
All right, well, they have departed for the northwest part of the state, Chippewa Falls, from what he was saying.
Yeah, we got to get the Chippewa Falls.
Great work, Jesse. Well done.
What a great mic drop. What a great mic drop that he's had there. Great day. Hey, kudos to Mark on a fantastic media performance. He beat Jason Wilde and Rob Domofsky today. 1-0. No,
TKO. TKO.
No, just a good, solid round win.
Split decision.
No TKO. Just a good, hey, I'm taking everything you got. I'll counterpunch. He took it, and he beat you guys on that round today. Kudos to you, Mark Murphy.
Way to go, Murph.
Have fun up there in Chippewa. My baby, she's a Chippewa.
I have no idea what that is. That's it for us today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Yeah, we got to get the Chippewa Falls.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
Kevin Murat here from Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increase cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
I'm Ben Jewick with Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interiors. 2023 is our 135th year in business, making it the perfect time for our crew to help you create a workspace that will help you attract, retain, and grow your business.